Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome on this Saturday, May 13th, 2023, to the 894th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of The Stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz. My wife Joyce should be joining us in a little while, and we will have guests and we will have fun and all the usual unusuals that we do every Saturday morning here on this Facebook page. And yes, I have, you can probably hear, I have gotten ready just before the show. We were talking about this last week of the fact that I'm in my transitioning to old manning stage, right? I mean, everybody in these woke times talks about transitioning from one gender to another, from one sex to another. I'm in that transition now. I'm 59 and a half almost years old. And so I'm going from the stage where, yeah, still got some dark hair, still have a little bit of black in the beard, and for some reason the mustache, that'll be gone in a year or two. But I'm getting what I heard about when I was like 5 or 6 or 7 years old, watching comedians on TV at the Friars Club or wherever. The old man phlegm is hitting me. It is, man. Old man phlegm, I'm getting it because, and I used to get, I had allergies when I was a kid and colds and things like that. And I used to get phlegm and I'd get sick and I'd get sick for a week. And, you always check. I know you're probably having breakfast at this point, but you check the color. If it's clear, you're fine. If it's yellow, green, not so much, but yellow, green is kind of normal for stuff that's been sitting in your body for 9 hours. So, and I've had that for a long, long time when I was a kid. I really haven't thought about it for years. But now I'm at, I guess, that stage because it's been happening for a week or so. Maybe it's the allergies. Maybe it's the fact that everything's blooming and blossoming here in Maryland. And we've had, of course, it's a rainy Saturday morning because every Saturday that we get on here, it's gray and rainy. I don't know why. But, it's been spring. It's been real spring. We had 80-something degrees yesterday. So maybe that's building up something in me. But I get up in the morning, and usually I get up pretty early, like 2 or 3 or 4 hours before 9 o'clock. Today, an hour and a half. But it's this thing now where I'll talk, and I'll be talking for a bit or moving around and doing stuff. And then an hour or so into that, I'll suddenly be like, can't talk. And I'll literally, I'll be almost choking or coughing or hawking. There's the classic Yiddish word. I'll be hawking, and I'll run for like seltzer. I'll run, talking about an old Jewish man, run for seltzer, I'll run for water. And I'm very, very happy and lucky to say that literally 5 minutes and then 2 minutes before I went on the air today, just 5 or 2 minutes before I went on the air today, I'm like, and I grabbed my handkerchief because I am an old Jewish man and I carry a handkerchief, and I was like, and I guess we're not talking about this kind of thing. It's not cold. We're talking about the perfect, beautiful little gob that was sitting here, and if you're lucky, comes up here and then and it blocks everything. It makes everything all gooey when you're trying to talk, and you can't do it. So I'm right? You can hear, I just cleared some more. And swallowed it down. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be all right. But then I realized, no, there's more. When you're 59, there's more. And about a minute and a half before I have to click and go live on Facebook, record on computer, I'm like, almost flies across the room, even as I'm grabbing my handkerchief. I realized, there it is. That is the thing, it's like an M&M sized dot of internal me-ness that would have had me choking on the air, that would have made my voice more hoarse than it is right now, would have kept me like, and literally I would have had to take 30 seconds away from camera. You'll hear me on the on the side, Joyce patting my back, me like gargling and guzzling. I'm gonna gargle anyway because gargling sounds so fun. There you go. So I'm doing all this, and just before the show starts, and I'm so grateful. It doesn't mean that there isn't more being manufactured inside my body. That's going to wait for the perfect moment when I'm interviewing the guest, or well, actually, Rabbi Saul will be interviewing the guest today. But when I'm trying to get through the limerick that we do, when I'm trying to be all host-like and MC-like when we do our trivia quiz, and I'll be like, I can't even fake it because I'll start doing it. But I've got, you know how Janis Joplin had that old cosmic blues again? I got that old man comic phlegm again. I got the thing that you have to figure, like Henny Youngman and Jack Carter and Rodney, Rodney took so much cocaine it probably broke up anything in his lungs. But I got the stuff that's down there that my ancestors and their great ancestors in Russia and Poland and Hungary and Czechoslovakia and Croatia. Just they wake up in the morning, if they live back in the day, to their 60s and 70s, and they're like, yeah, and the wife is nudging them, and he said, do this, and they're like, wait. They get up, they start milking the cow, they start getting the shoes to pedal nails into and pedal their push carts, and then suddenly it's like, wait, when the customer isn't looking, if he doesn't like the customer, he grabs the shoe like, I got it, ladies and gentlemen. I've been in AARP since I was 50, or even 49. I think they allowed me to join. So I've been old for a while, and I'm old spiritually in so many frickin' ways. But I got the phlegm gout now. This is I'm turning into the old man. So you can still hear it. You can still hear it in old Dave's throat. Anyway, let me tell you what's going to be on this episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the Stream. Coming fairly soon to the Daverhood today is going to be a singer, a dancer, an actress, a public speaker, and someone who's been doing this for quite a long time, has taught dance all over the place, has danced and sung off-Broadway and in cabaret, and has made a real career for herself in the arts. And as part of the celebration of that, she's got another cabaret show that she's on. The previous ones have been about her life and her being an actress and dancer and so forth, and making a go of it in New York. This one's a little different. This one, and it's perfect timing for Rabbi Saul and me. It's the actress, the singer, is Judi Mark. So we're calling, of course, this episode Mark My Word. But it's Judi Mark, and she's gonna be at Don't Tell Mama, the cabaret club over on West 46th Street between, I think it's either 8th and 9th or 9th and 10th, 343, wherever the hell, I think it's in the 300s or the 8th to 9th stretch. But anyway, her show that she'll be doing on the 17th and also again on the 24th at 7 p.m. is not just, Judi Mark, these are some songs I like, or here's my bio and this is how these songs and dances fit into it. No, she's going a different place this time. She has created a show called Merely Marvelous, the songs of Gwen Verdon. Now, Gwen Verdon, you hear it? Did you hear it? Gwen Verdon, major Broadway presence. Didn't quite become a major film presence, unfortunately, except for Damn Yankees. But on Broadway, Sweet Charity and Damn Yankees in Chicago are just one of the absolute song dance legends of the Broadway stage. And so Judi Mark is paying tribute to her from the songs that, and probably some of the dances too, that Mark made famous, that Verdon made famous with her longtime husband and part-time partner, Bob Fosse. And this is absolutely just the weirdest connectivity personal thing because both Rabbi Saul and I spent like the past 3 weeks reading page-turningly the Fosse Verdon book by Sam Wasson. I didn't get to it, it's this monster, like 600 pages plus 700 more or 100 more pages of annotations and bibliography at the end, plus an index. So the guy worked on this, right? And it's a Fosse book, but it was the springboard for the very popular miniseries that I have not seen called Fosse Verdon, because essentially what the TV series boiled it down to was their relationship, and that Verdon was always there for Bob, even though most of the time he wasn't really there for her, except as his choreographer, except as a work partner. Nothing beat them as a combination. But the rest of the time he was off either working or sleeping with everybody and so forth. So reading finally got through the book this past week, and I agree with the reviews on it. For those of you who, because a lot of people who watch the show are theater people and cabaret people and stuff, you probably read the book, or if you haven't, you saw Fosse Verdon, which I have not. But it is true. It's like you go through like chapter after chapter, and it's organized in a countdown sort of a way. In some ways, the way the movie All That Jazz was, where you start at the end, you start at sort of a post-mortem party memorial for Fosse, and then it takes you back like 60 years. He's born, and then 58 years and 52 years, and he's doing these jobs on television, and he gets this gig, and he's doing The Little Prince, and it counts down chapter by chapter every couple of years down towards like his last year, his last 1 hour and 50 minutes, and then collapses on the street in front of where the revival of Sweet Charity with Debbie Allen was playing. And the only thing about that is you go through 600 beautifully researched pages, often very readable pages, also sometimes very jazzy in the language pages with tons of information. And if you're a theater guy, you're like this. And also if you're a voyeuristic kind. Yes, I did. So it's going to be nice. That was right. She'll be with us in a bit. So you get through this, and it's very detailed. Somewhat detailed about the shows themselves. Actually, not that much, but just about everything Fosse was doing and everyone Fosse was doing. I mean, I guess it was common knowledge that he was an item with Jessica Lange, back when she was like Jessica Lange, but with Julie Haggerty. We had her on the show. I don't even know if we asked about that they were boyfriend, girlfriend for a bit. And just he had a couple of wives and so much going on, and you're reading and you're finding this and his personality and his addictions and his really serious mental issues and so forth, and getting through it. And then, swear to God, page 610 or something, he falls dead, boom, pronounced dead at this time, and the book ends. And it's kind of like, you turn the page, and it's like, wait a minute. I know that the book starts with a thing of his friends and his ex-lovers and his dancers showing up and having this memorial for him. So it kind of ends with an epilogue, the book. It begins with an epilogue. And yet, you're kind of like, you go through all this, like, wait a minute. I just got through all. Aren't you going to tell us that Chicago was revived by Anne Ranking, is basically taking Fosse's dance and some other people, but she was recreating his dances, and that it's become, at the point of the writing of this book, which was only a couple of years ago, like the longest running revival of anything ever, one of the longest running shows in the history of Broadway, a major, incredible, enormous hit, a big Oscar-winning movie. It's like, no. I mean, they didn't know, Sam Wasson didn't know when he wrote the book, that they would revive Dancing, the Bob Fosse all-dance musical, this season. And it got really good reviews, and it flopped. It didn't sell tickets. I think it's closing tomorrow. So Wasson couldn't have known that. But he couldn't have mentioned, so what happened to Nicole? When did Gwen Verdon die? So what happened to all these people along the way? What happened with other Bob? There was a Sweet Charity revival with Christina Applegate. just a few years ago, a dance musical wherein the lead actress, Applegate, broke her leg or broke her foot somewhere in rehearsals or in the early preview period, and did most of the show kind of hobbling about, sort of in a cast, right, in a dance musical. This happened when Sam Wasson, long before Sam Wasson finished the Fosse book. So it's like really, really, if they ever, and I'm sure this book is going to stay popular, and I'm sure it's going to have an afterlife and reprinting. So it's like, Sam, take a week or two. You can. The book is already 700 and something pages. You can add 20 more, and give us a proper send-off. Whole point of All That Jazz was Bob Fosse, the movie All That Jazz, giving himself a pre-death send-off. Right. Whole point of the opening of the Fosse book is it opens with a send-off, and it closes with he dies. And it's like the world stops after he died. The world doesn't stop after anyone died. The world didn't stop when Charlie Chaplin died. The world didn't stop when John F. Kennedy died. Won't stop Silent I dropped dead. So Broadway didn't stop when Bob Fosse died. It stopped a year and a half ago or 2 years ago because of a pandemic. And now it's not going to stop again. But did you hear the news? I'll probably talk about this with Leslie Hoban Blake of Two on the Island when she comes on to play the Today Yesterday quiz. But news came down because Broadway was all, and is all, just biting its nails right now. The writers' strike has been going on, I think, for about 2 weeks now. It's the Writers Guild of America going on strike, mainly about TV and streaming stuff. It's like forcing producers and networks and streaming services to come to the table and figure out a way for writers to get properly or better paid, with better benefits and better stuff for all this ancillary, is that the word? Auxiliary stuff that's been going on in media since 20 years ago, when it was networks and cable, and for music, ASCAP, BMI, and things. Now suddenly it's like, well, wait a minute. There's Netflix, there's Hulu, there's Yahoo, there's this, there's that, Vimeo. It's just so much podcasting and video podcasting. What are the parameters? What somebody's got to figure that out. And if you don't hold people's feet to the fire, if you don't kind of say, all right, we've been working without a contract, or we've been working with, this contract that was drafted essentially in 1983. Let's figure this stuff out. So they weren't able to, of course. So now there's both sides arguing about this, and the Tonys hang in the balance, because the Tony Awards are generally the second Sunday night in June. That is generally when they're held. Hello, Joyce. How you doing? Oh, what you?
I need to ask you something off camera.
Hold on one moment. Don't go away. Well. Why can't you ask me that on the air? Not really. Okay. Let's go.
You forgot.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring you your new friend.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Pardon me. Flame. So, in the back. So. No, I didn't want to disturb Mommy while she was. No, I'm not. How do I even explain this? Hey. Okay. It's in a bowl. So there's this. So it's. I'll get back to the Tony Awards thing. Well, the Tony Awards thing is simply that. There may not be a Tony Awards broadcast this year. It's now up in the air. It's supposed to happen second Sunday of June. They've had to put it sort of on ice because the Tony Awards are written. There's the banter, there's the list of who's whatever, there's the credits of people. People think, oh, well, you just have a ceremony and somebody gets up, you announce who won, and boom, everything. I love this idea that things don't have a script unless there's dialogue of people talking to. Everything requires a script. I can't really show you some of the info on this, but when I do my show, which is basically, except for the Limerick and some other stuff, is all improv. It's me talking to the camera extemporaneously, or Rabbi Saul interviewing people, or me conducting a quiz. Well, the quiz questions are written out. There's a timing thing that is written out. I mean, the very fact of having something as complicated with so many moving parts as an award ceremony, something has to be, at 9:05 p.m. This happens at 9:02. This presenter, or the Neil Patrick Harris does the song. Song goes until 9:07. Commercial. Then 9:09. Lin-Manuel Miranda presents the first, and even forgetting some clever comedian writers, theater people doing cute, funny jokes or banter between presenters, which usually sucks anyway, or gives legitimate good credit info to say, now the star of this show, who will be on Broadway next year. I mean, that has to be and should be written, right? Or at least, even an outline is writing. So, leaving that aside, the people would say, well, why would the Tonys be affected by the writer's strike? Point is, it's got nothing really so much to do with the Tony Awards themselves or theater people or being in solidarity with a completely different union. It's that the Tonys are televised. And the Tonys would show this material on TV to everyone. And of course, for Broadway, it's major. It sells tickets. It's a 2-hour or in some ways 3-hour advertisement for people from all over the world to come to Broadway. So losing that on TV is a rough thing. But at the same time, you don't. How do you figure out? And the Tonys did an award ceremony many years ago during a writer's strike. I didn't remember this at all. And I guess they just had, famous people opening an envelope, and the winners, they broadcast it. I don't remember how it played or if they worked out. I think they may have worked out some deal or something, but this time they did not work out a deal. So, barring the strike being resolved in a week or two, maybe they'll do the Tonys and will not televise it, which would be just, it'd be great for the New York theater community and kind of an absolute dagger to the heart of all these Broadway shows that count on, New York, there's a show called New York. We get to do a big number on TV, and Some Like It Hot, which has gotten the best reviews of any musical in a while. And everybody goes to it, loves it, right? So Some Like It Hot, but it doesn't have a big name star, and the movie, as beloved as it is like 60 years old at this point. So, it's not from the generation that is going to see Hamilton or anything like that, or Six. So it's they want to show, hey, we might win the Tony Award for Best Musical this year. They might very well, and we want to come up there and show how funny and jazzy and great the show is, and they can't, they can go on YouTube. They can go on Instagram and Facebook and post clips, or depending on what what Equity and the Actors Union say about that. I don't know. Anyway, that's what's, I woke up to that in the news today, to the Tonys not possibly being the Tonys this year. Oh, well, or they might move them to August, as they did. Remember they did that weird Tony Award that was a year and a half of things after the pandemic? Rather amazing that Broadway came back the way it is. But anyway, yes, Joyce was saying that. So towards the end of the year, I've been grading the last 2 weeks. Joyce is starting to grade now. She's got one more day of teaching next week, and then it's crazy, hectic times in our when you're a professor, when you're finishing up the spring semester. So we do this. Okay, and more phlegm. And so when Joyce goes to the school bookstore, she will find things. Among the things that she will find is this. Because she knows I would love this. This is not for her. She doesn't get this crap for, literal crap, for herself. She knows, oh, it's my husband. You know my husband. My husband loves things like this. So earlier in the week, she went to the school bookstore and found a roll of adorable toilet paper made of like fuzzy foam thing. And she got it. It's really cute. You know, I've got a toilet that I've been showing on the air, a child's play toilet that we bought about a month ago that I just love. So of course you need a toilet paper roll to go with it. When I saw him, I realized already he was lonely, so he needed a friend. So I made him a friend. I bet you can't tell which is the commercially manufactured toy and which is the toy that Dave made all by himself. Anywho, but Joyce said now that this is not going to do, Dave. drawing a face on a roll of this is not Scott. I think this is the Target Up and Up brand. No. Our toilet roll, which we named Roland, needs a friend. She saw this in the same bookstore. Now remember, as nuts as I am, as crazy and sick as I am, the bookstore is selling these to 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old people. Somebody's manufacturing this. Somebody in a store on a university campus is seeing this and then saying, this is appropriate for young people to buy and to want in their dorm rooms. Well, I gotta brush off the brown. He is really, really cute. And of course he says, you know what happens. And made by the same company, by the way. And they're, what? Oh, no, please. They get along just a little bit too well. And in the same week, because, it's just that time of year, we're going a little nuts. She also bought from the same friggin' company a potato that adorably even comes with its own pat of butter, which, by the way, is a kind of a mixed signal if you think about it. Our regular potato, you know him, doesn't know what to think about this because as cute and friendly as this fella is, there is this rather messed up message going on. You'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. Anyway, we're getting far away from the subject matter, but coming right back to it, because I do love the arts. I do love culture. I talk about the Tonys and stuff because I've been a theater critic for 30-something years. So here's the deal. Theater, music, dance, song, they're all connected, thank goodness, especially if you're from New York, and especially if you're someone like Judi Mark. Judi Mark is a longtime dancer, dance teacher, choreographer, as well as a singer and a cabaret person. And Judi Mark is going to be with us momentarily in the Daverhood to talk about her life, to talk about her career, and especially to talk about the show that she's got coming up at Don't Tell Mama this week and once again next week, devoted to the song and dance of the great Gwen Verdon. It's called Merely Marvelous, and I expect a more than marvelous time as we bring Judi Mark into the Daverhood to talk to, well, alas, not me, but to the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Saul Solomon. Don't go away. Here we go. Oh, there's that plan. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Oh, shalom, my friends. Shalom to you. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And we are thrilled and delighted to be welcoming to us, as soon as she gets the camera and the audio and everything going there, a songstress, a danceress, a teacheress, a public personality-ess, and, oh my God, is it my eyes? Everything's blurry behind you. Look at that one. What's the matter there? Hold on, I gotta clean my glasses. Just give me a sec. Hold on, this will take a moment. There we go. Let me just, oh, now I gotta pull this out. Oh, God damn it. Hold on, no. All right, this is gonna be a problem. Shalom, won't you welcome to the Daverhood the lovely and delightful Judi Mark, who is doing, by the way, let me tell you a little bit more about her. She is a dancer, a singer, a speaker, and a dance educator. This is a problem here. This is really, I can't, gewalt. Here we go, thank you. She has performed in places like the Kennedy Center, Birdland, Don't Tell Mama, of course, we'll be talking about that, the Metropolitan Room, and, most importantly, Temple Cole Ami Emanuel in Plantation, Florida. Wow. And she has also taught dance at Marymount College and New York University, reviewing her current show, Merely Marvelous, The Songs of Gwen Verdon. Stephen Mosher, writing for Broadway World, wrote, quote, "The show is sweet and entertaining, full of appeal and sincerity. Judi Mark and her musical cabaret are charming, likable, and very reminiscent of a quality of benevolence once possessed by Gwen Verdon herself. If all her audiences respond the way tonight's audience did, she could have a series of encores on her hands." And echoing that, Marilyn Lester, writing for TheaterPizzazz.com, wrote, quote, "Every so often, all the parts of a show might just come together in a beautifully optimal way." Well, we have the beautiful and optimal Judi Mark in the Daverhood. Shalom, Judi, how you doing?
Shalom. I'm doing great. Wow, what an introduction.
Thank you. You know, it all goes downhill from here, but the intros are beautiful. How are you? You look fantastic. How are you? Are you getting ready for May 17th? Let's say today's the 13th, 14th, 15th, Wednesday. It's Wednesday at Don't Tell Mama, yes?
Yes, I am definitely getting ready. I'm in rehearsals all the time. If not by myself, with my music director, with my director, with anyone who will listen, I will sing and dance and whatever I have to do. But mostly I'm thinking about my connection to Gwen, because this isn't a vanity show. This is a tribute to Gwen Verdon, who was an amazing person. And even though there's been so much said about her in movies, I don't really feel that she's gotten her fair share. And every time I practice a lyric, I think to myself, I wonder what she was thinking when she said that.
Huh. If I could see her now. No, but let me ask you. So, Dave, the producer of this program, before you came on here, was blah-blah-blahing about it. He just read the book Fosse, and then he told me all about it. So, in Fosse, she is almost this, I wouldn't say a martyr figure, but this Madonna-esque figure in dealing with Bob Fosse. Like, yes, he helped give her an extraordinary career, but, you know, sometimes he was home, most of the time he was not. And so what, and then, of course, there was the TV show Fosse Verdon. What have you discovered beyond that about Gwen?
She was an extremely strong person, and she was very positive about life. I believe that she tolerated the infidelities of Bob Fosse because she was so loyal and true blue to her work with him. And it was such a major event in her life that she was not going to give it away. She was not going to walk away or have a temper tantrum. She was, but I never met her. This is what I have discovered from my research.
Well, what did your research and there was obviously the Fosse book by Sam Wasson. There's another Bob Fosse biography. Is there a Verdon biography? What did you go to the Performing Arts Library? What did your research entail?
I saw the recent film, Merely Marvelous, which was an eye-opener. Right. I was given articles in magazines, Time magazine, Nightlife, I believe was the other magazine. I spoke to people in dance class that knew her, that worked with her. I looked around. I I read this, that, and the other, and mostly I spoke with my director, Jeff Harner.
He has been on this show, by the way, so say shalom to him. Okay.
Hi, Jeff. I sent him the link, but he's such a busy guy. I don't know if he's watching this.
Oh, too busy to watch this program. Oh, well, excuse me. So,
But no, Rabbi. We wouldn't even think of bringing that on to this scene. If it's recorded, I will.
it is. Yeah, you can watch. Yeah, you must share it with. You know what? When you're at Don't Tell Mama, you do the show. Everybody applauds. You take a couple of bows, and then you hold everybody in the audience for 3 hours. Make them watch this program right there live at Don't Tell Mama on Wednesday night. You just do it. You'd be amazed. So one person will stay. It's like an Andy Kaufman thing. Anyway, let me ask you though, how, as opposed to some of the actresses and dancers and people of the past years, why did you specifically connect with Gwen Verdon as opposed to someone else?
Because my director, Jeff Harner, felt that I had so much in common with her. He thought I sounded like her. I have some of the same vocal tics, as one reviewer said. And he felt that my personality was so much like her. And even that I look like her, but I don't think I do.
It's a little bit. Let me. Do you do the wop? Do you use your voice? Do you do a lovely voice kind of thing?
Well, I don't know what you mean, but when I do that, I feel like I have the phlegm like you, and I usually take a Mucinex, which helps a lot, by the way.
That's her. It's you and her, but yeah, okay, you do it. That's the Gwen voice, my God. So let me ask you, when you were trained, because you've been a dancer for a lot of years, were you Fosse-esque trained? Were you more like Martha Graham trained? Who was you when you were learning to dance?
Well, one thing that Gwen and I had in common is we both had skeletal issues when we were younger. And both of our mothers, Gwen's mother was a dance teacher, and my mother was a piano teacher, both had us in early training. And some of the training that we had was in common. It was creative movement, ballet. For me, it was gymnastics. For her, it was Jack Cole. We were exposed to the same styles as we were growing up, but we had a love for dance, which made us creative beings. Like with my mother, that's how I bonded. There was no technique there. It was just feel the music.
Well, but let me ask, did you ever audition for Michael Bennett or Bob Fosse or Stroman or any of those people? Did you ever get a cattle call? Did you ever be in a room?
Well, not for those people. No, I didn't, because I'm 5'2". At the time, I was 5'2". I think I'm 5'1" now.
This happens to me.
Dancers had long legs, and even though I might be able to do some little movements with my hands and get some of the gestures, I was not going to fit into that. I knew that.
So, let me ask you about this. So, you're 5'2". You know this. You knew this when you were 15. So you knew it. Well, you were not going to get roles on Broadway as lead dancers in these shows. So you stayed though in the discipline. How did you make a go of it, of becoming a dancer singer in a world that doesn't look at 5'2" people and go, oh, they can dance?
Well, my parents started me off with that. They made a theater in the backyard when we lived in Skokie many years ago, out of a blanket with a clothesline. And when I realized that I could sell tickets to the kids on the block when I was 8 years old, then I knew I was in show business and there was no going back.
But there's a difference of being 8 versus going to university for it versus then starting a career. So basically you were going to be a dance teacher, apparently, or a choreographer maybe. I don't know.
Well, I did dance in modern dance companies along the way, but I wasn't making any money on that. So I knew that wasn't going to last too long. And I was married. I took a trip down that lane too.
Oh.
And I moved around from Chicago to Florida to California. And then my cousin, who was a soloist with Martha Graham, told me, Judy, you got to get out of here. You got to go to New York. You've got to take the June course. And then I went to New York and I studied intensively the Martha Graham technique, which I absolutely love. And I credit my acting, my deep acting feelings from Martha Graham technique because
Look, I'm just going to hold you right there because we have, people who watch this show, including myself, know nothing about dance. So when you say the Martha Graham technique, how would you, you say Fosse, you imagine something. You say Michael Bennett, you see a chorus line. What is the Martha Graham technique in a sentence or two? What is it?
It's dramatic modern dance that was not on Broadway, but toured all over the world. It's a famous technique. It's built on contraction and release, which is a contraction and a release.
Oh, I did that on my honeymoon. Yes. Once or twice, not since, but on my honeymoon. No, but so that's it. So it's like, and that explains the Oklahoma ballet and all those things.
It explains anything that has to do with dramatic dancing. Yeah, because that's the way dancers communicate with their body. They're not always, hopping around. Sometimes they're feeling something deep, and sometimes they're happy. And it's the contrast in movements and the technical aspects of the technique, the Martha Graham technique, that gives a dancer the freedom and ability to express themselves.
So you come out of this intensive exploration of Martha Graham with some kind of degree or certificate, and then what? What do you do with it in New York?
No, this was in New York. I had already had a degree. But I wanted to study more in New York with the masters. I also studied intensive ballet classes with Alfredo Corvino, who was my cousin Diana Hart's teacher at Juilliard. And she directed me there. And I also studied with Zena Romette, who had a floor bar technique. I went from one master to another with my cousin's guidance. I wasn't just flipping around. She really guided me through the whole process.
And the goal was to turn you into a teacher, choreographer, or what? Or to be in more dance companies?
The goal was to be the best that I can be. And what I did with it was audition and perform in dance companies. And I did audition for Broadway, of course.
Oh, which shows? What you can tell? Which shows?
Well, it wasn't quite like which shows. There was a Broadway, whatever it was listed on the breakdowns. There's a call for this size. You have to be 5'10". I didn't go to that one. If you were 5'2", I went to that one. If you could sing a little bit, yeah, you go to that. I mean, I got into off-Broadway shows.
What shows did you do off-Broadway? I'd love to.
Well, this opens up a whole kettle of worms. But the one that's probably the most well-known was Let My People Come, Earl Wilson Jr.
I didn't realize. Oh, okay. Do you want to explain?
Let's not talk about that.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
Well, we're talking about this and release. There you go.
Well, I was the modern dancer. I was hired to be the modern dancer. And I got my equity eligible card from that show. But I was married at the time, and I didn't think that kind of show was appropriate for a doctor's wife.
Well, first of all, none of my business, but it is my business. Were you clothed during that your solos? And I can tell right now. I know what the answer to that one is.
Well, this was very well lit. Let's put it that way. In the shadows, like an Isadora Duncan figurine.
Oh, all right.
And it was very classy. And I was willing to do that because there have been so many dancers over the ages that were not shy. They thought that they were just part of art, like the statue of David. I mean, he's not clothed. Nobody's saying, "Oh, look at him,"
Well, I do. And when I saw it, I was in Italy. I was like, "Holy crap! Well, I wish I was that big," But no, it's everywhere too. No, you're talking to someone who saw Old Calcutta 17 times. It's just for the comedy. But all right, so you did that off-Broadway show. I guess that is the can of men having the worms. But What else? Did you do other off-Broadway? Because that's the best known. What other shows?
Let me see. I did a show called, I played with Danny DeVito.
Hello, give us a story.
Yes, the shows were called Three by Pirandello. They were Luigi Pirandello plays. And they played at the Colonnades Theater, which was an off-Broadway theater at the time, across from the Public Theater.
Oh, wow.
And I showed up. They were looking for a Sicilian peasant woman.
Well, that's you all over. Yeah. All right.
I can do that.
You can do that. I can totally see you actually doing that.
Yeah.
So
I did. And then he found out I was a dancer, and he said, "Would you choreograph the Tarantella?"
So wait, Danny DeVito asked you this, or the director?
No, Danny DeVito asked me to do that because I suppose he was self-funding it, but there was a director, and his friend Judd Hirsch, I think, was involved with the production as well, but I'm not sure exactly all of that. It was a long time ago.
But you choreographed him, DeVito, who is probably what, 4'6", in a Tarantella with you?
Yeah, there was the townspeople around. And I don't know that he was one of the townspeople. I believe he was maybe in the center and a jug. It's been a long time. I don't exactly remember all the details. But yes, we were in the play together. I acted in it, and then I also choreographed the Tarantella. That was
Was Danny DeVito known it? Was this just post Cuckoo's Nest? Nobody knew him, or was it closer to like Twins in that era? When was this about?
It was closer to Taxi. He was on Taxi.
Oh, so he was already like getting known. Yeah, wow.
And his wife Rhea Perlman, who was not his. Yeah, I guess they just got married, and she said to me, "I always wanted to be a dancer, Judi." And then a couple of episodes later, there she was dancing.
Thanks to you, or did you choreograph for her on Taxi?
Oh, no. She really wasn't a dancer. She was a fun person, and she did what she did in this much of a place.
Oh, sure. I mean, if it's on TV, the big star, they can't dance a lick, but they do a little bit of, and everybody goes, yay, because everyone wants to see the big star do something, to move well, to do 5 steps. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. You get it, I'm sure. Have you worked with any, either off-Broadway or regionally or in dance, anybody else that we would go, oh, you know them or something?
Oh, I rush shoulders with many people, but you got me off guard now. So I need to, review what I've done that are really going to stand out. I had guest spots in shows. I was in Death Trap. I remember the
on Broadway Death Trap or
the movie. And I got a call from LA to come out and do more. But at the time, I felt like, what for? They're not offering me a big part. I can't do this. I knocked around a lot, trying out for everything, doing whatever I could, and meeting as many people as I could until I finally decided that, okay, it's time. It's time to try to get a license to teach dance. And so to that end, I marched down to Brooklyn and applied for
Flatbush. Okay, Flatbush is all right. Brooklyn, yeah, but Flatbush, yeah.
To get a license to teach dance.
I didn't know who gives out licenses for these. Do you go to the police department? It's like you're driving a commercial vehicle. No, I'm doing a 4-bar tap thing. No, how do you get this?
You get this because you are persistent, like everything else in life. If you're persistent and determined, and I needed to make a living.
Oh, so a teacher's life. Essentially, you need to get the Board of Education certification.
Department of Education dance license.
Wow.
They hardly had any of them then because they didn't have any jobs. And it took years to get through the process where they test you. And I had professional credits. I danced in these shows. One of them went to the Kennedy Center, and I had a lot of experience. And I had some W-2 forms that showed that I worked professionally. And with that and a college degree, I was able to get my foot in the door. And
Now,
that's
let
how,
me ask you, you spent many years teaching K through 12.
no, not K through
Hold
12.
on. No, what would you do? You were what?
High school. I was
Oh,
focused on high school. And what I eventually did was I created sequential dance programs in the New York City high schools.
so they start from a certain level, and then if you get better, you go to this level and that level. Is that how it works, or what?
Well, the way I created it was the freshman year, they studied beginning modern dance, which incorporated Martha Graham and all the techniques at Lee Moan and the different modern dance techniques that I had learned along the way from studying with these great teachers. And they were interested. They went on to the sophomore year where they studied as a intermediate student for the first and second semester. The junior year, they took ballet for a semester, and the second semester, they took jazz. And
Same people.
this,
Same, the ballet did also the jazz tap and all of that. Wow.
yeah, we could, well, the idea was like, get them so excited and interested and believe in themselves and create themselves, like my story. Even though I didn't end up as a Broadway star, maybe later, but
You never know. You never know. You've got a show coming.
I'm praying.
Alive. So, have any of your students gone on to, now, again, not maybe Broadway, but to a major dance company in New York or Chicago or California or something like that? Do you know?
Well, I was finished the senior year was a choreographer's ensemble, and that's when the kids had an opportunity that had done the 4-year course to create their own works, and it was on stage. And with that little nugget of choreography that they created, they took that as an audition piece, and many of them got scholarships. I'm very proud of that. Not only had scholarships at Martha Graham, but at Long Island University. In fact, I got a big plaque, Dance Teacher of the Year, one year.
Where is it? Show it. Come on.
I don't have it with.
If it wasn't all blurry behind you, we'd probably see it. Or no, maybe not. No.
Oh, it's blurry because I don't want you to see my bedroom.
Oh. I've seen it. No, I'm kidding. It's a little comedy. By the way, I want to remind people we're talking with Judi Mark, and you can see her show. It's called Merely Marvelous, the songs of Gwen Verdon. You can see it both this Wednesday, the 17th, and also next Wednesday, the 24th of May. It's at Don't Tell Mama, which is over on West 46th Street between 8th and 9th Avenue. 7 o'clock is the curtain time. Tickets at don'ttellmamanyc.com. It's a double Tina. don'ttellmamanyc.com. Or, of course, go to her website, judimark.com. She spells it, I don't know why, but it's JUDIMARK.com. So get your tickets. Go see this. Because you've been working on, I know you say you're still rehearsing and working. You've been doing the show a couple of times in a couple of places already. It's been reviewed. So what are you changing? What's new?
I'm just getting deeper into Gwen and understanding the lyrics and working intensively with my music director, Ian Herman, who I asked one thing, just make me sound the best I can be. And he is really working me.
Wow.
But I love it. Because that's who I am. What? Ian Herman,
and as we said, the director is Jeff Harmon of the show. So it's not just song. Are you doing the dances that go with the songs?
No, I'm not dancing.
Okay.
I may be moving and gesturing, but I'm not dancing. The stage is about this big, right? And that's number one.
Oh yeah, don't tell mommy.
This is about her song. People think of Gwen as a dancer, and she was a wonderful dancer. But the night is about her songs.
So what songs, a couple of them, you don't have to give the whole game away, but what Gwen Verdon songs are you going to be doing in Merely Marvelous?
A Little Brains, A Little Talent. Do you know that one?
A Little Brains, A Little... Well, you do it better than that, yes.
Well, of course, my friends could see me now, but that's let's see, the Ain't Misbehavin', she sang that on her solo album.
Oh, okay.
Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. Primitive Man, Find Me a Primitive Man. Of course, my favorite section of the show is the Roxy Hart section. I love that. funny. Honey, Roxy, her monologue. Oh, I just like, oh, just bite into it. It's so much fun. It's so interesting. And it's interesting to me because I can be contrasting with my personality. That's what I love about it. It's not one level.
Mm.
And I
Now,
love the funny.
well, let me also ask you, because this is your fourth, I think, solo cabaret kind of show. You've done some others that are more autobiographical and things, including one where you mention that you went, haha, true, but funny, but true. You went from hip to hip replacement. So, Dave, the producer of the show, he once interviewed Bebe Neuwirth a few years ago, and she talked all about the hip and the thing, and she had about. How was it with you as a dancer person and just as a regular person to have one hip and then the other hip done?
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned Bebe because Bebe and I were in ballet class together with Alfredo Corbino.
Now, when I asked you if you knew other people you brush, I guess this is someone you brush shoulders with, is Bebe Neuwirth. Wow!
Yeah. She said to me, Judi, be more athletic because I was already hurting with my hips. I mean, do you know how much wear and tear it takes when you're teaching 5 classes a day, 5 days a week, every day, and then going and moonlighting at Marymount College and taking a ballet class besides that? Do you know how much wear and tear that is on a body? Oh, I put up with it for years, and then I just couldn't take it anymore.
So what is her hip made of? Is that titanium? Is it just fused in a different way? What can they actually do? Because
Well,
I'll probably have to have one day, so,
Well, I had a great surgeon at Hospital for Special Surgery, and his father invented the technique. I believe it's titanium. I believe it is. There's different techniques of hip replacement. Some of them are done from the side, and some are done from the front.
Yeah.
And the whole thing made me feel like what you're
My
expressing.
face is showing it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty awful.
But,
But
but
it
you
wasn't
are
that
not.
bad
Yeah.
because if you go in and you're in shape, even if you're hurting in shape, if you go in and you're physically fit, then you can get right into those exercises and get back on your feet the very next day, even if it's with a walker.
The next day?
Well, yeah, why not? You're holding onto a walker. You could take baby steps. And then it was like taking more steps down the hall where I live in my apartment. And then it was, more back and forth and more with a physical therapist helping. It was a process, but it was worth it.
Of course. Well, but let me ask you, you are not dancing in your current show. You're just singing but can you dance?
Yes,
Maybe not perfect. You can, wow.
yes,
Two new
definitely.
hips. This isn't a thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not doing what I used to do, but I wasn't doing what I could do when I used to do it because it was just a progression of everything falling apart.
Right.
But I am going after this program. I'm going to take class. That's what I
Really?
do.
Yes.
Yeah. And when I can't go to class, I roll my yoga mat down in my apartment and I do that. Build that strength.
Mit Mazel, the strong and wonderful Judi Mark here on Dave's Gone By. Remember, she's going to be doing this merely marvelous Gwen Verdon show. It's happening this Wednesday night at 7 at Don't Tell Mama in Midtown Manhattan. It's also happening next Wednesday night, the 24th, at Don't Tell Mama in Manhattan. Check her website, judimark.com, and also don'ttellmamanyc.com for tickets. Got to bring Dave back in here to do the rest of his stupid show, and you're going to stay. You're brave enough to do the quiz. You said you would, so yes, she's sticking around for the Today Yesterday trivia quiz with Vicki Quade. I don't know if you know her, but she co-created Late Night Catechism out in Chicago, and it's been done all over the universe. And with theater critic Leslie Hoban Blake, who has also been an actress, not a dancer, but an actress as well. So let me ask you, last question. So you're working on this. What does the next 5 years hold for Judi Mark? What are you doing? What are you working on? You're still there. Are you working on another show? Are you auditioning for things? Are you teaching still? What are you doing?
I want this show to have legs. I'm really praying that the show is going to take me somewhere. But I am also auditioning, and I do get submitted for other things from my manager sends me breakdowns, and whatever I feel is right for me, I apply for. I do self-tapings. I would love to do film and TV work. I'd love to improve my ability to public speak about various topics, and that's why I'm a Toastmaster, which I really enjoy. I'll do whatever I can because this is something that I feel I was given from above, a talent. And I believe that God helps those who help themselves.
Rabbi, if only. I've got to say, my manager submits me for the past 5 years for breakdowns. I've had 3 nervous breakdowns so far. It's worked. It's been fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we're with Judi Mark. I've unfortunately got to go. She's going to stay and play the game. It's going to take me about a minute, so I'm going to play some Jewish music. You're welcome to do some pleasant, dancey sort of thing to it to while I'm gone, because the floor will be yours. Ladies and gentlemen, Judi Mark, don't go away. The lovely and talented Judi Mark, ladies and gentlemen, in the Daverhood with us on this Saturday morning. It is May 13th, 2023, and you're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, with her, Judi Mark, and joining us momentarily, all the way from Chicago. Let's see her background. Oh, is that still the
I have to change it. I always have to change it when I get in on this, so hold on.
There we
Oh,
go.
no, wait a minute. No, hold on.
That was the coronation image behind her.
It was the last. That's right.
100 years ago. Let's see. We got to pick something else.
Who cares about that?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I will.
Okay. Just saying. You know I'm a control freak, Vicki. You know that. And say hi to Judi Mark, by the way. Judi Mark.
Hello, Judi. I would love to see your show. I can totally see you in that role, so I'm excited. Either me going to New York or you coming here. We'll do this and see what this looks like.
I'm from Chicago.
Cool. Yeah, she works at the Greenhouse Theater, which might be a good place for the show. Oh, Mother's Day, of course.
Mother's Day. That's right. But I also thought of this one because I thought this was like a little bit softer and pretty. Did you give your mother flowers? I think I like this one better. We'll do that one.
Well, yeah, I love it. Judi, do you have a preference? I think they're both beautiful.
Oh, no, it's this one. There's no preference. It's not a democracy.
Okay, I like that one too.
I understand that Vicki has been playing a nun, a rather strict nun, for 30 years. This is not a democracy. I say this, and this is how it goes.
That's right.
Now, we're waiting for, but we won't necessarily wait the whole time for our other friend, Leslie Hoban Blake, who is the co-theater critic on a show called Two on the Aisle that is played on Manhattan cable TV for 25, maybe 30 years now with our mutual friend Charlie Gross. So Leslie usually has trouble logging in and signing in, but she usually makes it. So
she'll make it.
She'll make it. I don't have my phone. Can I remind her? Hold on, I'm getting my telephone.
All right.
Send her I'm sure she knows. I'm sure she's busy slamming her computer against the wall trying to get it to work and get Wi-Fi. But just in case,
it's good to send a reminder.
Yeah, where is she?
Yeah.
Where is she now? Oh dear.
But Judi, I do think the Greenhouse is the former Victory Gardens in Chicago, and I think you could do well. I mean, I think your show would do well in Chicago.
Oh, my
I think
goodness.
it was absolutely terrific. Or anywhere, actually.
Later? Can I talk with you later, Vicki? Maybe get your contact information.
Sure. Oh, totally. Yeah. We'll share that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. So here's I got a text from Leslie who says she just does not have Wi-Fi. She's not able. Can she play on the phone? No, that's just going to be too much to try and get her on the phone. So it's gonna. I apologize to you guys, but it's going to be a 2.
Unless Leslie can make it in at some point.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll just say.
Let's hope. I'm getting my piece of paper ready.
Great.
For the very end.
Keep trying And otherwise, next.
No, doesn't Leslie live in Manhattan?
She lives in that. She
Why
moved.
is there no Wi-Fi?
She's
No
literally in
decent
Hell's
Wi-Fi.
Kitchen. She's literally living on like 9th or 10th Avenue and like
Yeah.
40 something Street. But who knows? Who knows?
It's the worst Wi-Fi in the world.
Anyway, well, you know what? Because probably there's 800 apartments.
Oh no, I get
one
it, but
signal.
right.
Yeah. Anyway,
So,
can I get Judi to do me one quick favor, please? Judi,
Yes.
I'm going to ask you, and don't get nervous now, to think of a number between 1 and 6 and tell me what that number is.
Out loud?
Out loud, yeah.
yeah, this is not a mentalism thing.
No,
5.
oh, my favorite number. So
It's what we thought it was going to be.
now, Vicki, what you going for?
Can you guess? Let's see if you can guess.
Hold it. Let's see. Well, since you're a nun, maybe the Holy Trinity, 3.
Oh, it's 3. You're right. You got it.
Right? Wow. And you were holding up 4 fingers. So okay, let's see. Vicki with a 3. So all that means, Judi, is that wait, I'm not even going to have to. Well, I'm going to roll the dice and see who goes first, I guess. Otherwise, it's not really going to matter, will it? With a 2-person game. Usually we play with 3 people. So I rolled a 2. I rolled a 5. Judi Mark, some beginner's luck. You have a choice. Would you prefer to go first or second?
First.
Whoa!
Oh, very good.
Bravery on Judi Mark. This is what a dancer and actress learns. It's like you have to say yes. You gotta say whatever it is. You just say yes, and then you learn to ride the horse once you've got the part.
That's it, exactly. Can you juggle? Absolutely. While I'm rollerblading, totally.
Totally. So here's how the game works, Judi. It's actually a fairly simple list of rules, really. It's trivia questions, and I ask them one to each of you. And each question is worth 2 points if you get it right. If you get it wrong, the other contestant has the chance to steal that question and answer it for themselves. But the questions are ridiculous. They're kind of not meant to be sort of, oh, I know this. If you don't get anything right, it's totally, completely normal. And part of the fun of it is the contestants thinking aloud and even sometimes giving the answer away to the other contestant. So there's no prizes. There's no nothing. There's no reason to actually do this. I don't even know why I'm here, but we do this anyway. It's called the Today, Yesterday Trivia Quiz. The only other thing you need to know, and don't even need to know this, is that the questions are based on things that happened in history on this date. So it's May 13th. A lot of the questions will be on things that happened on May 13th in years gone by.
But have nothing to do with it.
That's true. Yeah,
We'll see.
it's completely off the rails already.
Okay, I just have to ask, why is the number 9 behind you waving at us?
Because I forgot to put Scotch tape under it, and we have a fan going in the room because it's warm here in Maryland. So yeah, it says hi 9. You know, oh, it's a German number. Do you need anything? Oh, 9.
It's on air.
So, dang it, it's on air. Yay, Judi!
Very good, Judi.
You know what the Daverhood is about. Well done. So, Judi, are you ready for your very first trivia question?
I'll do my best.
That's all we can do in this world. The year was 1588. Okay, on this date, born today in Denmark, is lifelong teacher and student Ole Worm, or as it's literally spelled, Oleworm, Ole Worm. For obvious reasons, he preferred to go by his Latinized name, Olaus Wormius, but either way, Ole Worm was quite the character. Not only was he the personal physician to King Christian IV, but he also did all of the following, except one, which is not true about good old Worm. A, he called the room full of curiosities he collected the Museum Wormianum. B, he ground up narwhal horns and fed them to pets to see if the horns were poisonous. C, he spent a decade trying to prove that people who lived past 70 had skulls with structural similarities to the shells of tortoises. Or D, Worm's drawing of his pet bird is the only known illustration of the great auk drawn from life. One of these, only one of these, is false. Judi Mark is like, what, how, that, what did I do?
What have I agreed to?
Kidding me?
No, sadly, not kidding.
I cannot believe that you're asking me this question.
Pick one of
All
those.
I can think of is the pigeons on my balcony, and I wish they had a worm to get them off. Anything. I mean, this is the wormiest thing I've ever been in. I'm like, I remember my father telling me those worms are good for a bait. Let's go fishing. I don't know. I don't know.
Calm it down. I'll read the question again. I'll read the choices again. It's true. A lot of the times people are just kind of like, okay, I'll pick A, B, C, or D, and they pick one. But I'll read the question again so you can sort of maybe reason it out if you want to. This is about Denmark's Ole worm. He was personal physician to King Christian IV, but he also did all of these things except one. One is not true at all. A, he called the room full of curiosities he collected the Museum Wormianum. B, he ground up He ground up narwhal horns and fed them to pets to see if the horns were poisonous. C, he spent a decade trying to prove that people who lived past 70 had skulls that had structural similarities to the shells of tortoises. Or D, Worm's drawing of his pet bird is the only known illustration of the great auk that is drawn from life. One of these is false.
I'll go for C.
You're going to say that it is not true, that he spent a decade trying to prove that skulls of people were kind of like tortoises if they lived past a certain age. Is that your final answer, Judi Mark?
Why not?
That's
Well,
exactly right.
you have made your mark, Judi. You are correct. That is the correct answer. 2 points on the board.
Oh my God.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I made that up. That part was completely not true. But let me tell you about the great Ole worm. If you ever want to laugh, just look at the Wikipedia page, and it just says Ole worm. It's the most wonderful thing. He spent his last years ministering to sufferers of the bubonic plague, and then he died of the bubonic plague at age 66. But yeah, he collected fossils, taxidermed animals, plants, and minerals, and put them in this like Caligari thing of curiosities that he called the Museum Wormianum. He disproved the existence of unicorns. This was the thing. He was like, unicorns do not exist. He just said people think they're unicorns because they see narwhal horns on display. But they said that unicorn horns had this property that cured people. And he was going to, or cured poisonous things or something. So he ground up narwhal horns to give them to pets to see whether they were poisonous or not, or if they cured poison things. So that was the great Ole worm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our newbie. Remember, this is true. I said that sometimes we get people on here who've never played the game before and get nothing. You already have 2 points on the board. Yo, Judi, well done. Well done.
Good job.
Don't say it was luck. Don't say you guessed. You knew. You knew. I can tell. Now, here's Vicki. Vicki, you played the game a few times. You know
I have.
the idiocy that ensues. I have another question for you. It is also multiple choice.
Right.
And so you can tie the game here if you get this going. The year was 1643.
Okay.
A monster earthquake hits Santiago, Chile, and kills 1/3 of the population on this date.
Wow.
Which of these is false about Chile? A, Chile is home to the oldest mummy in the world. B, the Chilean national drink is called pisco. C, Santiago has statues of both Isabel Allende and Pablo Neruda, both of whom won the Nobel Prize for Literature. Or D, even though it's 2,000 miles away, Easter Island is part of Chile.
Oh. Which one is true or false?
One of these is false. All the others are
Only
true.
one. Okay. Only one is false. Is Easter Island, does that belong to Chile? I don't know that it does, but it might. I'm going to say that one. Easter Island
So
does
you're
not
saying
belong to Chile.
it's false. Is
I'm gonna say
that
that.
your final?
Probably wrong. Yes, why not?
Well, you can go with it.
Why not?
Well, is it Chilean here or is it just Easter Island? I'm sorry, Vicki, but Easter Island, even though it's
belongs
very
to
far away
Chile.
from, yeah,
Oh, well.
Chile kind of controls it. It is a Chilean thing. So
Now, Judy, you can steal.
this is true.
Steal
Judi Mark, you
opportunity.
get to try and answer with the other three. You have a 1 out of 3 shot. Isn't it cool?
Oh, well, first of all, I can't believe that I got the first question right. I thought maybe you were just being nice.
I'm never nice. You don't know me, but no, I'm the worst person in the world.
Is it
So
door
I'll
number
read.
1, 2, or 3?
Well, I'll read the question again, and I'll give you the choices again. So yeah, you can puzzle them out verbally. But on this date in 1643, Chile suffered a terrible earthquake in Santiago, killed a third of the population. But other things are true about Chile except one of these. Which of these is false? A, Chile is home to the oldest mummy in the world. B, the Chilean national drink is called pisco. Or D, I'm sorry.
C.
C, Santiago has statues of both Isabel Allende and Pablo Neruda, both of whom won the Nobel Prize for Literature. One of these is false.
I would go for the first one, A.
You're saying it is not true that the oldest mummy in the world it's not true that it is in Chile. Final answer?
Might as well.
Is that your final answer, Judi?
Yes. Yes, I'm going with that.
You're going. What? You never watch Wait, Don't Tell Me. You don't know he does that. Is that your final answer? Anyway.
Oh, no.
I want my mummy. Well, it is Mother's Day, but unfortunately, on this particular case, I have stumped the panel. Neither of those is the incorrect answer.
Is it the statue?
Actually, yeah, Santiago or has statues of Pablo Neruda and Gabriela Mistral.
Yeah.
They are the 2 Nobel Prize winners. Isabel Allende never won a Nobel Prize, and there isn't a statue of her there. So it's actually those 2 folks who have the statues in Santiago. The other is true, and pisco, P-I-S-C-O, is a type of brandy, and it is the national drink of Chile. So 0 points to anybody there, which means Judi still is winning in the game. And Judi can add 2 more points if she gets the next question right. Are you ready, Judi?
Yes.
As ready as you'll ever be. You're loving every minute of this, I can tell. The year was 1637. Okay. Now we all know Cardinal Richelieu as a fascistic, sometimes brutal clergyman and statesman who helped French royals consolidate power throughout the kingdom. But did you also know that on this date, Cardinal Richelieu became an inventor of a particular type of something that we still use today? What is it? A, a special kind of shoe. B, a special kind of seat cushion. C, a special kind of exam. Or D, a special kind of knife.
Cardinal Richelieu, inventor.
Now this is Judy's question.
Oh, I know. I'm just talking.
Okay, no, fair enough.
I'm going to go with the B because I would think he'd be sitting a lot.
So you're saying that Cardinal Richelieu, who's always on is the seat cushion, he's invented a special kind that was presumably more comfortable. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Nobody expects an answer like that. I'm afraid maybe you were over-influenced by Monty Python and Poker with the Soft Cushions, but no, that is not the correct answer, I'm afraid. So
No, I can steal. Okay. All right. It's a knife. It's an exam.
Or a shoe.
Or a shoe that we still use today.
This is correct.
Wow. A shoe.
Gesundheit. But what is your answer, Vicki?
A shoe.
Gesundheit. But Vicki, what is it? All right, is that final answer?
Sure. Why not?
Well, Vicki and Judi, I am fit to be tied because that is not the correct answer. Oh no!
Is it a knife? Did he invent a knife?
He invented a knife, but it was not for torture or anything like that. He, when he was at dinners and things, he got tired of people using like these hunting knives to pick their teeth. He thought it was really disgusting sitting at the dinner table. So he invented a knife that was not as sharp and also rounded on the end. And it became our typical table knife that was invented by Cardinal Richelieu. This is
Wow.
absolutely true. And this is the real, yeah, this is why we call it a trivia game. Who knew?
Who
Who knew?
knew? Exactly.
Huh. Anyway, guess what? Judi Mark is still in first place with 2 wonderful points. But now, Vicki, you get another shot to tie the game here with your
Okay.
question. Oh, I'm so
3
sorry.
clues in the news.
Yeah, I'm so sorry Leslie isn't here for this. So this is
All
a
right, let me write down. All right, 3 clues in the news.
now I'll explain to Judy very quickly. This is in case this comes to you and Vicki doesn't get it. But 3 clues in the news is a different kind of question. There are 3 words that I'm going to say, and the 3 words are not connected to each other, but each of those words is connected to the same other word that Vicki has to think of. So it could be, blank word or word blank,
Well, let's do the example from last week, which was a good one. Lucky, zone, lucky zone, and I forget the other one. Lucky zone.
was match maybe or force or out.
But it turned out the word was strike. Lucky strike, strike zone, and I forget the third one. And it all related to the writer's strike. So that's what this horrible question is.
So the answer to the question, the word
I got last week.
So you're looking for a word that is sort of in the news.
Right.
Okay. So Vicki, this question does go directly to you.
All right. Yeah.
Here we go. 3 clues in the news, and the clues are acid, car, pack.
Pack. Like pack, P-A-C-K.
P-A-C-K.
Okay. Oh, acid, car, pack. And related to something in the news.
Correct.
What happened in the news this past week? Acid, car, sports acid. No.
I take it back. It doesn't do anything for me. Yeah.
Pack. Backpack, acid back acid, car back. No, so it's not backpack. So you have to think it through, Judy. You have to think it through. Then you have to try to remember what happened in the news. What happened this past week? Politically, something. There's a horrible CNN. People were fired. Who died? Anyone die this week? That's also a clue. Acid. So it's not acid rain. Acid. Tongue, car tongue, pack tongue, acid. Geez, this is a tough one. It probably isn't. Probably when you realize it, you're like, oh.
When you realize, but it's not an easy one. But when you realize it, you'll go, oh yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. Car, lane, acid lane, car. Wow, parked car, but I think we did there. Pack park, acid park. What do you do with a car? You drive it, you park it, you own it, you insure it. Car insurance, acid insurance, hack insurance. No. What do you do with a car?
In the 1960s, they should have
sell
sold insurance. Yeah.
Sell car. Acid, you avoid it. You ingest it. Right. Pack. You pack a luggage. You pack luggage. You pack. You unpack. You unpack a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know. I just don't know.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're gonna just not even get. So, what do we say, Vicki? What's your answer? What's that website?
It's nunsforfun.com. NUNS, the number 4 fun.com.
So when Vicki can't think of an answer, she will give the website where you can buy tickets to see her shows in Chicago at the Greenhouse Theater, nunsforfun.com, and her shows.
Or you can book me. You can book me for other places. I've been booking. I've been sending out a lot of contracts and booking things, so that's good.
Low in the Chicago area or much further away.
Much further away. I go around the world.
Oh my God! That's,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, before pre-COVID, I was in Singapore. I was in Guam. You know,
I was in Guam. I couldn't get it off my hands for a week. It was just awful.
So I'm building that back up now.
But Judi wants to do that, of course, with her Gwen Verdon show. So that's if you can
That's
give her
it.
some advice on how to get that going. But anyway, Judi, you have a steal opportunity here. So you've got the 3 clues in the news, and the words are acid, car, pack. What word goes with all 3, and a word that is in the news this week?
What goes, well, I was following Vicki's lead. I started with car and I thought, in the news, congestion, and there's going to be a toll hike, which is smelly, acid smelling on the highways. I was thinking about it being packed on the highways with cars that smell, and that's
It's one word.
it's one word.
One word.
One word goes with each of these words separately.
Right.
I would say car.
Well, it can't be car because we have a car.
Oh,
Car is one of the words that is going to go with the other word that you're looking for.
Right. Like car sale. Like, but there's no acid sale or pack sale or car
packed car.
car wheel. But there's no car door. Acid door. No. Door pack. Pack door.
Packed
No.
or acid.
It's not packed. It's just pack.
Pack, it's just pack.
You know, like a backpack.
Uh-huh.
You know, a donkey, like a pack donkey or something.
I don't know. I told you it wasn't good with this.
It doesn't. You're not supposed to get these right. So, do you want to give out just your, or either your website, or do you want to just take a stab at some word, or what you want to try?
My website.
Yeah, judimark.com. So, in other words, if you don't know the answer, it's kind of fun to just be like, oh, okay, my answer is judimark.com. So that way you plug your stuff, and then you still get to use
Oh. Okay. JudiMark.com, spelled JUDIMARK, no S.com.
JudiMark.com for tickets to see her show Merely Marvelous this Wednesday and then next Wednesday at Don't Tell Mama. I have stumped the panel.
Yeah, so what's the word?
Sucking, man. All right, but here's the deal. Okay, car, acid, pack, the word that goes with each of them. Oh, you're going to get such a charge out of this, Vicki.
Electric acid Kool-Aid test.
Which could run on a,
Electric car.
you're
Electric
old enough to volts.
volts meter voltage. It could run on electricity. Electric Kool-Aid acid test. That's all I'm thinking of. What is it?
The word that I'm looking for is battery.
Oh, a battery. Oh, battery. Oh, battery pack.
Battery pack, battery acid, and of course a car battery. It goes with all 3 words.
Sure.
And battery is in the news because,
What? Somebody got hit.
well, in a manner of speaking.
Well, I'm from
Donald
Chicago,
Trump
so you know.
Trump was not found guilty of rape. Donald Trump was found guilty
Oh,
of sexual battery and
yeah.
relation to E. Jean Carroll. That's what we were looking for.
that's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah,
It was tough. Yeah.
but battery. It's a fair one. I think battery. I thought battery.
It's totally fair. Totally fair. It was just tough. That's all.
Here we go. All right. There's more. We still have Judi in the lead. Judi's like, kill me. Just kill me now. But let's see. This question, 1, 2, 3, 4, goes directly to Judi.
Judi. Yeah.
I'm still not sure we're going to figure this out with 6 questions and a tiebreaker. We got it. Judi, here's another multiple choice question for you in our Today Yesterday Trivia Quiz on Dave's Gone By, where it is 10:30 in the morning Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. I'm here with Vicki Quade, Judi Mark, playing the Today Yesterday Trivia Quiz on the 894th episode of the show that we're calling Mark My Word in honor of our guest Judi Mark, who's about to answer this next multiple choice question. You know,
Judi, you can do it. Come on.
today, May 13th, would have been the 101st birthday of beloved actress Beatrice Arthur, born May 13th, 1922. Known the world over for Maude and the Golden Girls, Arthur had a scattering of Broadway credits, including Threepenny Opera and, of course, Fiddler on the Roof. Her penultimate Broadway show, several years before her Elaine Stritch-like solo Be Arthur on Broadway, was as a lead character in what play or musical? A. Murray Shisgall's Twice Around the Park. B. Elaine May's Taller Than a Dwarf. C. The Comden and Green musical On the 20th Century. Or D. Woody Allen's The Floating Light Bulb.
I'd go with C.
You're going to say she was in the Comden and Green revival of the, the Comden and Green musical On the 20th Century. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, sometimes when I do this show, I feel 100 years old. No, it is not on the 20th century. I'm afraid not. No. So,
here's my chance to steal and tie, but I don't know. So this is going to be a guess. Could you read the remaining three?
I absolutely could. So this would have been B. Arthur's 101st birthday. She's had some Broadway credits. What was her second to last Broadway credit? It was a lead character in what play or musical? A. Murray Shisgall's Twice Around the Park, Elaine May's Taller Than a Dwarf, or Woody Allen's The Floating Light Bulb?
I don't know any of them, but I would think maybe Twice Around the Park. I'm just guessing.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, here we were talking about cars, and now we're in a no parking zone. Oh my God, another stump the panel. Oh no, I'm afraid.
Is it, wait, let us think. Is it Taller Than a Dwarf?
No, which was absolutely terrible. I actually saw Taller Than a Dwarf. It was an Elaine May play.
Allen. Oh.
It was Woody Allen's Floating Light Bulb back in 1981. There was this 20-year gap between B. Arthur's second to last show and her last Broadway show. She co-starred with, who was in that? Danny Aiello and Jack Weston.
Wow, what a good cast.
Oh yeah, well these others, Twice Around the Park was a showcase for Eli Wallach and Ann Jackson. And then Taller Than a Dwarf starred Joyce Van Patten, Parker Posey, and Matthew Broderick.
Oh, all excellent, yeah.
And then of course there was the On the 20th Century, which debuted in I always thought it was much older, but it debuted in 1978, and then Kathleen Turner was in it in 2005.
Wow.
Anyway, this is in. We still have coming to our very last question before our tiebreaker. We also have.
I just want to say, Kathleen Turner, are you watching at all the Plumbers series about the plumbers who broke into Watergate? Are you watching that at all?
Why are you asking about Kathleen Turner watching that?
He's in it.
Oh, I know. I haven't seen. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
He has a role in the most recent episode.
Oh, I didn't know that. You know,
Yeah.
she's been on the show, so it's kind of.
Yeah, no, you should just check it out. She's really, it's like you don't recognize her. They've got, they've made her up with a wig and the whole thing. But when you find out it's her, you're like, oh my God, of course.
What streamer is that on? Which is that Netflix? Or
I think it's Netflix. Yeah.
Oh, the Plumbers. Okay, thank you, Vicki. All right, here we go. Now we have Vicki. This is your shot. This is your shot to tie.
I just answered. I just missed it.
Wait a minute.
I just missed that one, didn't I? Or was that Judy's question?
No, Judi said Common and Green on the 20th century.
Oh, so this is mine. Oh, okay, yeah.
So this is it. This boy, oh boy, Vicki. If you get this right, you tie the game.
Okay.
If you don't get this right, you don't tie the game. And Judi will be the queen of trivia this week. Are you
Perfect.
Are you shivering?
Get your crown ready.
Are you kidding?
Here's
All right.
one more.
What's the question?
This is for you. Oh, wow. You know, actually, that was blurry. Whatever you just put on your head. I guess that's
I love
Cuban.
it.
Oh! Tissue, I hardly know you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, it's great.
So, however, you're not the queen yet. You might have
Not
to share
yet,
power with
sister.
Prince Vicki. Born today in Vienna in 1941. Okay, May
Yes.
13th, 1941.
41.
I should explain. This is change one letter.
Oh, it's changed one
That's
letter. I
original
hate these
today.
too. So-
Oh, Leslie, you don't like these?
Well,
Oh,
no, I do love them when other people do them, but I'm not very good at them. So go ahead.
all right. Well, this is called change
Get
one
your
letter.
crown ready, Judy.
Always ready.
Go ahead.
So what it is there's going to be a poetical clue, like a short little poem, which will come up with one answer, but then there'll be another answer, which will be only one letter different from the first.
Right.
Now let's see if we do this. Born today in Vienna, 1941. This sultry actress cast a giant shadow when she took the Quiller memorandum to the spy with my face. Change one letter for a staple at a fast food place.
Ooh, a staple at a fast food place. Well, a fast food would have to be fries, but now I have to think of her. Burger, fries. I would think burger or fries has got to be part of it. And she was in, I'm sorry, read it again.
Well, I will read the clue again. Here's the
Okay.
political clue. This sultry, I mean, the meter's terrible on this, but look for the end rhyme. This sultry actress cast a giant shadow when she took the Quiller memorandum to the spy with my face. Change one letter for a staple at a fast food place.
Oh, man. I know there's all sorts of clues there. There's shadow, there's spy with my face, the Quiller memorandum. Cast a giant shadow. So what is her name? I have no idea, but I'm gonna just guess. I don't know. Do I have to guess her name? I have to guess the
You
two
can
of them.
guess one or the other. They're 1 point apiece.
Right. So it's like fried and fried, fries and fried, or something, or burger and something. Fast food place. A staple at a fast food place. Well, burgers, fries. That's about it, really. That's what you think of. Bergen. Is it Polly Bergen? Is it Bergen and Burger? That's what I'm going to say. I don't know.
Well, okay. Is that going to be your final answer?
Sure, why not?
Bergen and Burger. Final
Sure.
answer, Vicki Quade?
Yes.
Well, Vicki Quade, you get 1 point.
1 point, because what did I get? Did I get burger?
Correct. You
I
are
got burger correct.
So,
Okay.
Judy, you've already sort of won the game because it's 2 points to 1. You can pick up this other point if you know what the other answer is.
So it's not
Right.
So it's burger and
It's a really. I was kind of cruel in this one. You're
it's
gonna.
okay. It's okay. It's burger
You're
and
gotta be kidding me. But Judy, have you thought about this? Do you think you might know the Vienna actress born in 1941?
well,
The sultry actress cast a giant shadow when she took the Quiller memorandum to the spy with my face. Changed one letter for a staple at a fast food place.
I'm so happy I got at least 1 point.
Yeah.
I'm
Say it.
trying to think, who would an actress be from Vienna, first of all?
An
That's
Austrian actress.
an Austrian.
Born in 1941. Austrian actress whose name sounds like burger.
Yeah.
And
And
it's not
remember,
Bergen.
change one letter.
So it's not Bergen, because I guessed that already. So it's
You're awfully giving. I feel like I want to give my point to you, Vicki.
Oh, well, you haven't got it yet.
The one I
You
had
gotta get
before.
the point in order to
Well,
give it away.
No, oh, okay, for this question. What last
So
one?
it's not Ferger, it's
One
not
I'm happy to
Burger,
give
it's
to you.
not Verger. It's like nobody we remember. Sturger, it's not like that. So it's got to be something else.
Oh, I wanted to say something about a tomato, but that's totally off key.
No.
Focus, Judy.
I'm trying to, but I never was good at this. I mean, when they do it on the cruise ships, I just go somewhere else.
Oh, never get on a cruise ship. COVID central.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's for sure. I just have to say judymark.com.
Well done. Judi Mark, that's the way to do it, Judy. But Vicki,
Who is she?
1 point. Vicki, you're gonna kill me. You're
No,
both
it's okay. Who is it?
So burger was the right answer for the.
Yeah,
it's a ham,
sure.
a burger.
Right.
The actress's name is Senta Berger,
Well,
but she spells it differently. It's Berger
E-R.
instead of burger, B-U-R.
I wouldn't have gotten that.
No,
Anyway.
you know Senta Berger.
At least I got 1 point.
You got well done, well done. And by the way, Senta Berger, she was in an episode of TV's The Man from U.N.C.L.E. that became the movie The Spy with My Face.
Oh, and I love The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, she had a big, that was kind of
Ilya Kuryakin.
That's right. Now spell that 3 times twice. So I don't even know what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, we have a winner, but we still play the final question of our trivia game, the tiebreaker, except there's no tie to break. And there's no break to tie.
Oh, rub it in.
yeah, we have a new winner. It's Judi Mark has won the Today Yesterday trivia quiz by a whopping 1 point. And speaking
Doesn't matter, it still counts. She won.
She won on a burger question. So here's the deal. Tiebreaker is for the both of you. Instead of saying the answer, this question goes to both of you at the same time. So what you're going to do is write down the answer. And then when I do a 3, 2, 1 countdown, you're going to show it to the camera. And then whoever gets it right, or if they both get it right, it doesn't really matter because Judy's already the victorious queen of trivia today. But this is how we'll do it. And it's Judy will like this because it's actually a normal trivia fill-in-the-blank question. It's not weird, it's not whatever. You either know it or you don't. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, here, but smile at the camera first. Big giant smile.
Okay.
It's not doing it. Hold on. There it is. Nice. Good.
Oh, Screaming Goat is talking. Here we go. The year was 1944. Born today in 1944 is this author whose series of 9 novels about San Francisco included such titles as Baby Cakes, Significant Others, Sure of You, and The Days of Anna Madrigal. Name that writer.
I think I know this too. Oh man. I'm just blanking. This one I actually do know. It's terrible. It's terrible when the mind goes.
These are sometimes worse because it's like a normal question and then it's on the tip of your tongue and you're like, ah.
Right. No, exactly right. Oh man, I have it too. All right, I'm not going to get it. So I have something else.
Oh, your book?
Yeah, sure.
Of course. Here we go. Don't forget to get copies of Close Encounters of the Chicago Kind, Tales of Chicago and Theater by Vicki Quade, published and available from everywhere. Who's the publisher again?
Eckhart's Press. It's not available everywhere. They don't put their books on Amazon, which I discovered.
So how can we get a copy of Close Encounters?
At Eckhart's Press.
Oh, Eckhart's
Press. Go to Eckhart's Press. I mean, that you go to their website.
Cool. All right, Eckhart's Press. So are you going to write down anything, though, Vicki? Or are you going to do a thing? Might as well.
Might as well. Judy, do you have an answer?
No, I was just writing your book down.
Oh, Close Encounters of the Chicago Kind. Well done.
Well, thank you.
So Well, I'll read the question again. I'll give a 3, 2, 1, and we'll just sort of make things up as we go along. The year was 1944. Born
Right.
today is this author whose
Yeah.
series of 9 novels about San Francisco
Yes.
included such titles as Baby Cakes, Significant Others,
Yes.
Shoot of You, and The
Yes.
Days of Anna Madrigal. Name that writer. 3, 2, 1. Hold up whatever you've got in front of your closing. And Judy, what did you even we wrote down her?
Come on, what is his name? Oh, give it to us.
Well,
The hell?
I'll give you the most famous one, which was the first book in the series, Tales of the City.
Yes, of course. I mean, I know this this author. In fact, I have those books.
Oh
But
my
in my
God.
mind, I cannot think of his name.
And you know what? It's still so early there. It's still in the AM.
Oh, yeah. The morning. I don't know. What is it? Give it to us.
And the answer is, the author is Armistead Maupin.
Maupin. Yes.
Nice.
Mr. Maupin. Yes,
Okay.
and those books
I
are
know.
wonderful. They're beautifully written. It's really a wonderful series.
So yeah, the Tales of the City series. And they made it into a TV show and all that sort of stuff
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But yeah, oh well, I stumped the
I
panel
knew.
on that one too.
I
But
knew it.
she did. You knew, but trivia, it's tough. It's tough. But
It is
Judi
tough.
Mark, holy cow! You got 2 points. You win the
Excellent,
Day
Judy.
Yesterday trivia game this week. Mazel tov to you, Judy. How do you feel? How do you feel
You
having?
feel like a winner? Where's the crown, Judy?
Well, here's the crown.
We have it?
Leslie can't get Wi-Fi.
Crown.
Does Leslie have the crown?
Oh, I don't know if she ever got
We
it.
sent Leslie the crown.
That's right. Last week. Oh, that's a beautiful. That is gorgeous. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Judy's holding up a beautiful Kleenex box
Beautiful.
made of honeycombed
Wow.
silver.
If I had a dunce cap, I would put it on, but I don't.
Oh.
Well, you might as well ask Judy because she's a classical dancer. Yeah.
Put Vicki in the naughty chair. Vicki, you have to go on the naughty chair.
Yeah, Vicki. No, but we did, remember last
Those
week
in the-
we had the paper crown that Joyce designed, and so we mailed it.
You
Leslie
did
had
nail
a
it.
wonderful idea that the winner each week would sign it and then mail it on to the next winner, so it becomes like the Atka hat. Well, you don't know what that. But so I mailed it. I don't know if she's gotten it yet.
She says she couldn't log on, and then she said naughty words. I won't repeat.
Oh, dear.
She's having a day.
We love Leslie. We wish Leslie well. We wish she could have played the game with us. And of course, our good friend David Sheward, he's like me. He's just been overwhelmed with school stuff. So still, we've had this wonderful time chatting and playing games with, first of all, Vicki Quade. Vicki, what shows are you doing this weekend at the Greenhouse?
Well, we really just have late night catechism. We're pushing that because I'm pushing it's a royal we, because it is our anniversary month. So this month we turn 30 years. So we're really pushing all those weekend shows.
And are you doing any shows away from the Greenhouse like this?
Oh, I am. I'm going up to Wisconsin next week to do my game show. Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun? And then I have shows coming up. I've been sending out contracts, so it's
So
good.
let me ask you, are you doing, like, for the actual day of the 30th anniversary, are you doing a party? Are you doing a special show? What are you doing?
Yeah, we always do. We have like champagne and food, treats, things like that. So
Nuns
that's
can
good.
drink? Who knew? I
Nuns love to drink.
did not know that. Okay, a priest do, this we know, but who knew about the
Some
nuns?
Jesuits.
Now, Judi Mark, you are going to be very busy this Wednesday at 7 o'clock at Don't Tell Mama, doing your show, Merely Marvelous, devoted to the songs of Gwen Verdon. And if you happen to, well, you didn't want to go twice. So, but even if you miss it this Wednesday, remember that May 24th, next Wednesday, she'll be doing it again. And of course, if you want to bring Merely Marvelous, the songs of Gwen Verdon, to a theater or club near you, contact Judi Mark. Her stuff is at her website, judimark.com. And remember, that's Judi, as you would spell Judaism, judimark.com. So, guys, did you have fun? I hope.
It was fun, wonderful, always.
It was certainly different.
I'll take that. Guys, it's been
And I
great.
love meeting you.
Oh, an absolute joy. I joined with Vicki and Vicki, not me, but Vicki, of course.
No, you and Vicki.
And it's a delight to meet you. You are now a friend of the Daverhood. Welcome. And everybody, do the dating game. Blow kisses, blah, blah, as I let you out of the Daverhood. Thank you, Judi Mark. Congratulations on your show.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, happy Mother's Day too, right. And to you too, Vicki, as well, to your family. And have a great, wonderful week. We will see you soon. Oh my God, okay, so it is, what is it? It's like 10 to 11 Eastern Time in the Daverhood on this Saturday morning. It is May 13th, 2023, the 894th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the stream, featuring me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, over there on the noise machines, and of course, moral support for our Mark My Word episode of the show. So do we still have more stuff to do? I mean, hey, I've talked about the Tony Awards, and I've talked about Old Man Flem, and we've done the interview. Rabbi Saul was here. We also did our Today Yesterday trivia quiz, but folks, of course, there's more to the show than that, because we also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned to do, where we will be going. Where will we be going? We'll be going to South Fork, Colorado, for a horrible, disgusting poem. South Fork, Colorado will be our Limerick, and we'll have our friends of the Daverhood to talk about. But before then, let's not forget about our beloved weekly segment that comes from the pages of the Greeley Tribune newspaper. Greeley Tribune, Joyce and I lived in Greeley, Colorado for about 13 years. And while we were there, the local newspaper there, is still there, is the Greeley Tribune. Still publishes all the time on the internet, and 4 hard copies a week. And yeah, real paper, despite this wonderful headline. And they have 2 columns in the paper every week. And they are devoted to 2 different things. One of them is cop log, and it has to do with phone calls that come into the Greeley and Weld County Northern Colorado Police Department from people who see something weird or scary or crazy going on in their neighborhood, and they have to tell the police about it. It's public record. This information goes into the police system. The funniest, weirdest ones get collated and then put in the newspaper every week in the Greeley Tribune by our friend Morgan McKenzie. And then also our other friend, Mike Peters, he does 100 years ago. These are things that happened or that were put in the Tribune back in 1923, 100 years ago. They're cute now, they're funny, from our modern perspective, so we share them with you too. We mix all these up and we call this segment Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes and Old Times here on Dave's Gone By. So, are you ready for some criminality, dear? You can use sneezes instead of the sound effects. Oh, she's got another one brewing. Oh, you're good. Okay, this is a crime. This is something that came into the police department just a few days ago. A man on 18th Street said that he woke up after a night of drinking to find blood on the floor. He didn't remember what happened, but he said people were in the house. Yeah, you know that's a good party. That's a fun 1970s party right there. Oh my goodness. Now, if I could have a party like that, I would be a happy man. A caller on 22nd Street said a caller on 22nd Street, this is an adult here, said he had a bill of sale for a go-kart, but his sister wouldn't allow him to come over.
Oh, that's sad.
You think, yeah, he's got a go-kart.
He's got a bill of sale. Maybe he wanted to do go-karting.
Exactly. And she said, no kart.
Maybe she wanted to keep it for herself. Maybe she was go-karting.
Well, here's the deal.
Maybe they were at the party
Yeah,
that
they were at the
night.
party.
Maybe the go-kart was the instrument of blood. Yeah.
There's more to this. Because meanwhile, in a separate event, a separate phone call, A woman on 25th Street reported
Oh no. Her brother wants to come get a go-kart.
she was being harassed by her older brother regarding a motorbike and a go-kart he gave to his grandson.
There you go.
Uh-oh. She said she had custody over her brother's grandson, but her brother was threatening to break into her home to take back the items.
That's too confusing.
Yeah, it also doesn't get funny anymore. Now we're talking about a real, like, ugh. Oh, it was funny when the go-kart part
But they
came up.
can work it out. They can work that out. They can get a mediator and figure out who. I mean, if she has legal custody, it's then and whoever.
Well,
has,
not the stuff.
No, but they could go to court for that. That's a court thing where you say like who has the ownership or whatever.
Now, did your father build go-karts?
No, he built stock cars.
Stock cars, it's different.
Go-karts
Go-karts are what? They're like
I don't think have an engine. I don't know. I think they're just like the things the Boy Scouts make. I don't know.
I guess you could use your foot. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Anyway, a caller on 8th Street.
I'm gonna have to make tea.
Sure. Threatened to kill his upstairs neighbors for.
A go-kart?
Not for. No, that's good.
I don't know.
Well, for smoking cigarettes.
See, like, I always remember Judge Judy. Like, whenever I think of neighborhood or neighbor hassles, Judge Judy's a tough woman.
Well, yeah.
And she said she's lived in many communities over the years and she's never had to call the police on a neighbor. Like, you don't have to kill somebody for cigarettes. Can't they work that out?
I know. I mean, I can understand being mad when you're in your place
Is it
and the
euphemism?
smell.
Maybe it's a euphemism.
Oh, maybe.
Like, you could say, I'm going to kill you or I could kill you, I hope.
Well, no, I'm sure he doesn't mean. Well,
Yeah,
I hope he can.
But if you say something like that, isn't that a threat?
It is. Yeah, that's the problem. You know, if you're saying to someone, I'm going to kill you, even if you don't really mean it,
Yes.
you've just told someone, I'm going to kill you.
Your Uncle Sonny did that to the TSA. He said something like, "Oh, I'm glad you don't see my bomb." He made a joke about a bomb.
Yeah. No,
And
my Uncle Sonny.
And they were gonna, and Deborah was livid. They were
Yeah.
gonna, take him aside. And she was like, "Oh, he's fine." But whenever you say something, you can't just say that.
This is my Uncle Sonny. Now, this was, I think it was before 9/11. I believe this was
No,
before.
it wasn't. No,
Oh, was
it
it
wasn't.
after 9/11? What a
Yes.
genius this man was.
It was, yeah.
Then it would have been shortly after 9/11 that my uncle, the late, nearly great Uncle Sonny, was going to board a plane with his family and going through the TSA, not the customs thing, but with
The screening.
the screening, yeah.
yeah.
And he said, well, good thing you didn't see my bomb. You can tell who I'm related to here.
But you can't. Some things you can't say.
Yeah.
It's like if you express harm toward other or self-harm, that's bad.
It is very bad. It's very bad. Just this way. I woke up to 2 news items on the computer today. One about I was talking about this before. The Tonys are up in the air.
Somebody was commenting on your stuff. Preston, somebody was participating in your quiz.
Oh, that's lovely.
I
Preston?
don't know his name.
I don't have my Facebook. I have a Zoom feed, so I don't see your Facebook comments during the
I
show.
forgot the last name, David. He was playing along.
Well, wonderful. I hope you did as well as
He was
Judi
talking
Mark.
about comedians. He wrote some comedian names down. I don't know why.
Comedian. Well, I was talking about old comedians hocking up phlegm.
Yeah,
This was
he was
before the
writing.
quiz.
He was writing down comedian names.
And their phlegm sizes. Because Uncle
He
Milty.
was talking about vomit. He was stop.
All right. Anyway. Oh, Joyce just threw pooey at me. She threw pooey at me. This is one of our children here. Look at this. And on the very day when we introduced, what do we call him? Happy? What do we call him? Arnui with
Did you
this
show
one.
them the walk-in floss or whatever?
No, not yet.
Do you want it?
Yes, let's do the walk-in puss. The bag is right there.
But they have the brochure.
Oh. Yeah, we'll get back to Greeley Crimes and Old Times we're still in it. Okay, but here's the deal. Joyce and I had to go get, finally, our driver's licenses done for Maryland. Because amazingly enough, even though we haven't lived in Colorado for 4 years, we still have both had Colorado driver's licenses because we never renewed, they're a long time. And while we were living in New York, there was no... Probably should have renewed my license and my voting thing, but we didn't. It was a Colorado license and I drove. So finally, I get this thing and it's like, really, once you move to Maryland, within 60 days, you should have a Maryland driver's license. And 9 months has gone by, and I suddenly get this thing. I'm like, okay. So, I dragged Joyce to this local place a couple of miles away, and it's.
Can I put you one tea? I'm gonna make.
Oh,
tea.
go make some tea. I'll tell the driver's license story and the Wackenfuss story.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I got water, so I'm all right. But thank you for asking. So we go looking for. See, I got phlegm too. The DMV. Now, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and I used to have to come with my mom or whatever when have to renew her license, when I was a kid, and then finally getting my driver's license in my 20s, and you know what the DMV represents in the mindset of people, like this awful, worse than OTB, this awful smoky, dim, gray, with unbelievably long lines, and you get on one line, and then you get to the front of the line after half an hour, and they tell, oh no, this is not the line. You need that one, and then you need to get that stamped over there, and then and just the horror stories of people. Oh, the Department of Motor Vehicles. Meanwhile, already when we were living in Colorado, and I was getting my paperwork and license done there, and everything had changed. Right? It became just like, oh, gotta go to the DMV. You block out half an hour, or 40-something minutes. And you wait, and it's pleasant, and it's just another place to wait, like a doctor's office, like anyway, and you get it done. So Joyce and I go to the local DMV closest to where we are in this town. It's in a shopping mall, strip mall area. We're looking for it. The GPS is telling us it's right there. I'm like, what's right there? And there's a Safeway. There's a Candy's place, there's a Ross's, and then suddenly we go further down. It's like stuck them in all these things is a little building for the DMV, or the MVA as they call it, motor vehicles place. So we go in, and it's not very crowded at all. We made an appointment. We came in with a prearranged appointment, and we sit down to wait. And I tell Joyce, okay, just hang here for a moment. I'm going to go use the facility, because I'm getting older and the old prostate. So and she gets a little nervous. She's like, well, it's not a number 2. It's going to be quick. But I wanted to. And she's like, so she sits down. I go to the bathroom for literally 30 seconds. By the time I come back, she's already gone and has been called to a window. And I'm seeing her there, and she had to drag all her stuff. I'm like, good God, from the old days, and unemployment was like this too, but of like sneaking lines around the building and this line and that, to suddenly sit. Oh, in 24 seconds, your name is called, and suddenly she's on a window, and then I get called to the other window. And I'm talking to this very nice lady and giving her my stuff, and we had everything ready. I'm good about this. I had the passport, I had the social security card, I had this and that for both of us. She was at one window, I was at another, and I was literally going to be like, compliment and say, this is so incredibly different from years and years ago. This is so efficient. This is so neat. Here's the thing, and then I hand in the stuff to pay for getting renewing a license and renewing it in Maryland. And that's when that moment when I was about to say, God, this is so quick and easy. Never do it. Because that is the moment that suddenly everything sort of stopped. And it was like, oh, there's a weird thing going on with the system. And it's not good when the person that you're dealing with is clicking buttons, doing numbers, and then has to go find the supervisor. And she disappears for 2 or 3 minutes, actually. Goes find someone else. They're talking about it. They're going to the computer. They're tapping things. To be honest, even with the snafu, whatever it was. And by the way, this woman assured me from the get-go that it wasn't anything on our end. It had nothing to do with my paperwork or my credit card or my old license or anything at all. It was just dealing with New York State, where I originally got my first license, and just one of those things. Even so, Even and Joyce, by the way, she was done in 2 minutes. She finishes at her window. She comes to my window. She's sitting with me. She's trying to help me out. We're both sitting there going, ah. Even with all of this, the whole trip to the DMV for both of us to renew our licenses took easily less than half an hour. It was just like, oh, okay, thank you. You almost feel like, it's almost like one of the times when I've gone and gotten a shot, especially for COVID and something like that. When you go in and I'm terrible with shots and I'm very almost phobic about them and I hate needles and white coat syndrome and all this. And then there are times when it's just like, oh, that was it. And you almost feel bad for all the effort you put into being afraid of it. Because, okay, I almost wish it were worse because I expected when you don't really. But you know what I'm saying? You almost feel like you were cheated out of a nightmare. And somehow I felt like this at the DMV. We walked out and it was like still really early in the day. Let's go shopping. And we did. And we walked around. And we looked around at Ross and we looked around at a couple of places until we came across a candy place. And it wasn't Godiva and it wasn't the Belgian place that I really like. And it wasn't anything like that. A place that apparently has been selling chocolates for like 100 years. It says literally on the brochure 100 years. The one and only Wackenfuss. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, apparently the Wackenfuss family has been selling sweets like this, for 100 years. And it's one of those hallmark places, the types that they have chocolates, but they also have cards and they got little tchotchke things. So we go in and I'm like, I have to. Even if it were any other kind of candy, me with chocolate, yeah. But Wackenfuss, I even have the bag. Look, check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, they ship anywhere in the U.S. They are Wackenfuss. And I'm like, Wackenfuss. So just I love the name. I love strange, funny names. Probably wasn't really that strange a name back in the day. It's probably just some German family that came over like before World War I, started this whole thing and became this. And there they are with 100 years later, still making candies that are very tasty, very delightful, great chocolates, and men after my own heart, or actually there were women working there. They had a big sale on Easter candy left over from Easter. I'm like, yes, yeah, like 50% off. I'm grabbing it because chocolate is ridiculous now. It's like $1.50 for a bonbon, but if you get it for 40 cents, I'm like, I'll buy 50. So Wackenfuss, but you're not going to believe this,
What?
Joyce.
What's that?
You're not going to, but someone, and I forget where.
At school, maybe at Stevenson?
Maybe at school, maybe I heard, no, it wasn't, I don't even remember where I heard this.
Someone was talking about Wackenfuss?
Not Wackenfuss, but somebody mentioned as a burger place.
Yeah.
And speaking of burgers, see how everything ties together? Fuddruckers. You didn't believe, I was telling you that there was a place called Fuddruckers.
The pictures we have, you want me to get my phone, the pictures of you at the candy store?
Oh, well, yeah, your phone is here.
No, that's your phone.
Is that my phone? Oh, that's my phone. But there was a place on Long Island called Fuddruckers, and I think it's a chain. I think they're all over, and they're still around, which I wanted to prove. I never got to really prove that, but Fudd, I don't think I ever ate there. Where are they? Locations. How many Fuddruckers are there? Holy crap. They're all over. There's none in Maryland. Go figure. In New York, there's none in New York anymore. They closed in New York. But of course, they're all over Texas. This is interesting. There's no Fuddruckers in Maryland. There's no Fuddruckers in Manhattan or all over New York anymore. But they have a Fuddruckers in Panama and in Yucatan and in Saskatchewan. They should have a Wackenfuss in Saskatchewan too. That would make me really happy. But they have them in Arizona, Florida, Texas. New Jersey has two. One in Parsippany.
With the Chuck E. Cheese, you gotta go back with the DMV.
Oh, okay. So we have some photos.
We don't have any pictures of you at the. So let me show you. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Joyce is looking on her
This
telephone.
way here.
Yeah. Joyce documents my life, basically. She
Because I'm your
takes.
slave.
There you go. She takes pictures of me.
I'm not your slave.
There we go. This is me outside near the DMV, the
I
MBA
don't know
place.
what that was a picture of. A rug or something? Rug?
I don't know
rug?
if it might have been a carpet place,
Or
right?
legal?
Or a
Is it-
flooring place. Was this the floor place?
Yeah, well, I think it was. It had
Yeah.
to be. What else would they be selling?
I have no. Well, it could have been. This could have been a distant cousin of Roland, if you think about it. Maybe no.
My lemon went bad.
Oh, okay. I guess you've soured on it. Oh,
Ugh, that's disgusting.
so here's me. I'll show these closer. Notice the verisimilitude of that jazz hands of the carpet guy. I look pretty good there, I think. And then what's on there? Carpet Fair. That's the name of the place.
Is it a carpet store?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell, but you know what it looks like? Remember when that showed That's a Bill?
I'm just a
that's
bill
what I
on
thought
Capitol
it was.
Hill.
That's what I thought it was, like a law firm, but it's for carpets?
Yeah, he's a rolled up carpet.
Is he? Let me see.
Yeah. And
Oh, but he's doing like you jazz hands.
yeah. And
He's
by the way,
a-
he matches the drapes. Yeah.
He's doing some kind of happy thing.
He said, I would buy carpet from them, wouldn't you?
He looks very happy.
He is.
If you want bright yellow carpet with hands, that's the place to go.
Wouldn't you want bright yellow? Wouldn't it like, my room, your room, a little bit gray and
I
do
love
our
it. I don't want
bright yellow, lime yellow carpet?
It's good if we get a pet for the whiz, the whizzy bubba.
That's right. You want to see? Well, I would have a brown carpet too. It'd be yellow with parts of brown, and then you could just take the dog on it. You never know.
The dog would, you never know, yeah.
I love that idea. And of course, we literally
Yeah.
popped
We
by.
actually confused a lady because we were taking so many pictures. She tried to go in. There's like a fake door that's like just it's like an exit door.
Yeah.
And we were taking so many pictures. She was looking at us and trying to open a door that had no handle. And she was like, "Oh, that's the exit door." Yeah.
So this is fun. Oh, well, it went weird there. No. Oh well, I lost it.
Give it.
It's not going to show that.
Show my teeth. I don't care. One of my teeth. Okay, so here you go.
So this is me outside. We did not go into Chuck E. Cheese. I'm not a
I
pedophile.
believe you have to have a child, right? It has for children's birthday parties. That's normally what it is, right?
Yeah, but you can go in there and buy food.
I don't know if that, it might just be for party people.
That's why they had Dippin' Dots, which I've never had. But they had Dippin' Dots
They're
in there.
supposed to have pizza for parents, but it probably is very salty. I don't know.
Yeah. This is me because the sun was in my eyes. So I was supposed to have like my eyes wide open like that
And it
child.
was raining that morning. That's so funny. And then it got really sunny.
But this is cuter. This is good. Now you see me really well, but you don't see Chucky the cheese mouse.
Yeah, you know.
He's kind
You
of
see his reflection.
his reflection, yeah. But I look good in that one. And then this one here's Chucky the cheese mouse again. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fun times, ladies and gentlemen. Fun times. So that was our week. Yes, we got our licenses. Yeah.
Any pictures of the
Of
candy?
Walkenfuss, I don't think we
We
did.
should have. I guess it was a store.
If they had the big name
Did we
Walkenfuss
show
on
them during the festival what was outside of our home?
what was this?
Who says we don't have personal security in Maryland?
It was sort
It
of
was
like
like a bazaar, like a fall bazaar or summer bazaar, like end of the semester bazaar.
Yeah.
Because we live near a primary school for little kids.
so. I woke up in the morning like 7. Who doesn't want to see this at 7 in the morning when you wake up?
Yeah.
You look out the kitchen window, and in front of your house. Do you mind showing the front of our house? No. Is oh joy! There's a cop car in front of our house. You know that's usually not good news. I mean, 2-3 weeks ago we were talking about that where 2 houses over there was a cop car and an ambulance because some idiot had been drunk driving and smashed into one of the cars parked on the street, and so woke up to some of that. But this time it's just like, oh,
Here, looking at
why is there a policeman outside our?
I'm going over on a happy time. We never ate there, but you were talking about the Dippin' Dots. I think that's like a Dippin' Dot ice cream place.
We can go there. This isn't the place that has
Yeah.
a Szechuan place in the
Are
Levinson's
we
rugs.
gonna go to the
Yes.
Methodist Bazaar today?
Yeah, because we should be out of here by like 11:45. I'll end a little early.
My stomach.
Thank you. So, But yeah, it was basically the policeman parked on our block because it was so crowded. A block and a half away where the elementary school is was just all this was like fair end of well, it isn't their end of season. They go till late June. I don't know what it was, but you know, it's always that sort of uneasiness. The parents, the cops coming to the door at midnight. Is this your daughter? It's like, yes. And it's like, well, she was drinking with some friends. How old is she? It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we were spared that in our lives, but
I
it's kind
can't
of
remember the name of the food place that's there. Do you know the name of the food place?
near. Oh, you mean in that particular shopping
No,
center?
no,
Oh, AM something maybe?
no, not AM. It's like
Morning Watch?
no, that's another. You're thinking of a different place.
Anyway, let's do a few more Greeley Crimes and Old Times. So then Joyce and I can hit the church bazaar. Or that's not really what kind of is. Anyway, let's do some old times.
It's like a arts and crafts sale.
That's what it is, yes. Old times. These are things that were in
What's the name of the place?
I don't know. The Greeley Tribune newspaper 100 years ago, back in 1923. Count them, 5 national liquor agents. Liquor, I hardly know her. 5 national liquor agents in Colorado were forced to resign because they were selling whiskey. The whiskey was taken in raids on illegal stills, and then the agents were caught selling the whiskey themselves, and they will appear in court. Corruption? No. Gambling at Rick's? No. Anyway. Oh my God, hon?
I'm trying to.
Yeah. Trying to find out. Which restaurant? Is it where we did the DMV thing or the.
No, David, you don't understand. I'm looking for the restaurant that's near the John Hopkins.
Right. Oh, that place.
Yes.
All right, I can sort of figure out and Google that in a sec. I'm blanking on it at the moment.
I'm listening. Don't
Yeah.
you know?
No, but I'm trying to think.
This is
Because
the wrong-
we
No, it's the wrong.
point something.
It's okay. Just medical center. I have the wrong thing.
Anyway, we have a chicken alert. A chicken alert. All the chicken alert is it's a story from 100 years ago that involves chickens in some way or other. A cooperative egg marketing association for Northern Colorado was formed. Stone Mill, there it is. Okay. For Northern Colorado was formed in Loveland. It will go into operation as soon as 30,000 hens are registered at the State Central Egg Office.
Wow.
You wonder if that still
How
exists?
can you register a hen, like each individual hen?
How do you do 30,000? It's like,
Bessie, Bessie 1, Bessie 2, Bessie 3.
you know, in the
Bessie
half
4,
hour,
Bessie 5, Bessie 10.
then the process,
Bessie 1,
eight will
Bessie 2,
die.
Yeah.
You know, more chickens are going to be born because the roosters are going at them. It's like, 30,000, Bessie 28,413.
I know.
And then one is going to be called Stewie. I mean, it's just like,
Oh.
but the State Central Egg Office, that's really cool. By the way, late Sunday night, this is 100 years ago, a flivver driven,
What's a flivver?
it's like an old style car,
Oh.
driven by a man named Kello, collided with a porch of a home
Yeah.
owned by Sheriff's Deputy Bert Huffsmith.
Uh-oh.
No damage to the house,
Good.
barely any to the flivver.
Good. What's a flivver?
Look at it's FLIVVER.
It's an old car?
Yes, a type of car.
Is it a new car?
No, we're talking 100 years ago.
It says, why is it called a flivver?
Yeah.
Flivver is an early 20th century American slang for an automobile. It says it's mainly used for poor quality or poorly maintained car.
Oh,
It's a nickname for the Model T, but it's just like a name for like a
An old crappy
jalopy,
car,
like
yeah.
a jalopy, and like
because I remember
a
Benny.
cheap car or aircraft.
Oh, aircraft. Oh.
Clunker, junker, banger, old, hoopty, rattle trap, heap,
Hoopty.
grandpa's car.
Because I remember on Dr. Demento, I'm listening to Benny Bell, the guy who wrote Shaving Cream.
Yeah.
One of his things, will you love me when da 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 da, and the end of the song, the tagline at the end, will you love me when my flivver is a wreck? And
Also, Flivver's a
saying,
dang
it is
car.
an old junky sort of a car.
Yeah.
So this guy's flivver, he drove it into the porch of the sheriff's deputy.
On purpose or back?
No, probably it was just late at night. No
Well,
damage.
there are no lights in Colorado. We know that.
Back-
No,
Yeah.
yeah, and they have no lights. Even when we
No.
drove from Boulder, there was nothing.
Yeah. So he bashed into the thing. But since the deputy was sleepy,
Yeah.
he sent the driver on his way without charges.
Aw.
Boy, this is 100 years ago.
I got my nightcap on. I'm ready for some.
Did you hear about? Nah, go back to sleep.
I can't get out my calligraphy pen and write you a ticket on my slate. You could go. You could go now.
Hey, let's go. Speaking of going, let's go elsewhere. We have some elsewheres, ladies and gentlemen. These are funny stories, fun stories in the news, real things, but they're not from northern Colorado. They're not from Greeley or anything like that. You sent this one to me, and I thank you so much for this.
Lord.
This story comes from Hamburg, Germany,
Yeah.
as was published in newscientist.com.
Mm-hmm.
Surprises abound in a study by German plastic surgeon Caroline Eimer and her colleagues. Quote, in their study, the study's title, quote, The Scrotum, a comparison of men's and women's aesthetic assessments.
See, you know, like you always make fun, but there's good work for empirical research, right?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Just how do men feel and how do women feel
Not this
looking
one.
at scrota. And it starts by citing a 27-year-old psychology paper about hiring practices based on gender and attractiveness.
Oh.
It mentions that, quote, studies have yet to investigate aesthetic preference as regards the scrotum. For example, our sixth hypothesis suggests, I mean, do you think somebody just was like, this was before gay liberation, and they just...
I think they're really into it. I think people, like, sometimes you wonder, like, what it gets people to study, but I'm sure they're dead serious.
I know, but the
They have
person
6 hypotheses. Come on, they're doing good.
a year and a half looking at scrotums.
Oh, but they probably had people look at them and rate them or something, wouldn't they?
And yes, men's would rate their scrotum significantly more positively than women would rate their vulvas.
Oh, wow, that's gendered mess, yeah.
The paper presents 4 data tables, the last of which is titled, quote, Descriptive Statistics for Evaluation of Each Scrotum, and each variation by gender in order of perceived attractiveness
Wow.
of the scrotum.
So what's the most attractive, did they say?
Oh, this is research. This is research.
Yeah.
Research, serious. There follow 36 close-up black and white photographs of scrotum,
Oh, God.
followed by the conclusion, quote, ultimately, remember, this is academic, peer-reviewed
Yeah,
journal
this is in a
research.
journal, yeah.
Ultimately, it was barely possible to identify a beautiful scrotum. We must instead speak of the least ugly.
Oh, least ugly.
Wow.
That's nice.
I'm sorry, I think this whole thing is nuts. You have to admit it's a ballsy topic. Yes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, on Greeley Crimes and Old Times on Dave's Gone By this Saturday. Let's go back to, as quickly as we can, some crimes and old times. Let's close it off with a couple of new crime items. Thank you again to Morgan McKenzie for compiling these. Here we go. Caller on 10th Street said that a woman was acting strange. She took off her shoes and socks and was pulling up her shirt. I should only make a woman that strange. No, but, you know. Of course, they all say that she was in the changing room at Kohl's.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it's like, all right. Now, a woman on 8th Avenue said she found a random man lying on her couch.
Wow.
This I would call the police if I
that's
saw a random
not
man.
fun.
He apparently got inside through an unlocked door, and he left as soon as she came home. Well,
What was he sleeping?
I think we have a name. I dubbed this as a name. It's called homeless Airbnb.
But he's sleeping on her couch. And
Yes,
then she
he
comes
just
home
walked into her house,
Yeah.
plunked on her couch, fell asleep. She came home.
and he left.
There's a man sleeping on her couch, and he's like, "Gotta go."
Maybe he's her security guard.
I think, Passover was only a couple of weeks
What do you
ago.
think, so, like-
Elijah's still sleeping it off. He's still going from house to house whenever it's open. And not only am I phlegmy today, I'm gooey. And I'm expectorant. I'm an old Jewish expectorant, pranky man. That's me. 2 callers in the parking lot of King Supers. Two callers. Yeah.
Were they calling for the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They said a homeless man was throwing things at people, cussing, and hitting people's cars. I think those demonstrations at King Supers are kind of getting out of hand.
Sometimes when they don't win the fastest helper and bagging contest, they get so mean.
I know.
When they lose, sometimes the customer service people just gonna let off steam.
You are not employee of the month. No.
I don't want to do the Western Union money transfers.
Oh,
I'm
God.
throw some stuff. I'm throwing some cornbread and a can of peas.
I wonder how Western Union's doing now that Zelle and Venmo and places like that.
I think Western Union is good for people who don't have bank accounts. You could just give money and send it. I think people who are,
I get it. Yeah.
legitimized and all these sort of systems can do it. You need apps and stuff. But Western Union, you just bring a chunk of money and you give a name and someone goes and picks it up. It's incredible.
Yeah, I guess that's still a thing.
Yeah,
That's
they just
cool.
have to have ID to prove the pickup person is who they are. I mean, that's
It's a brilliant idea. And they still, it didn't occur to me that that's what you do. You can go with money.
What about traveler's checks? Are they even a thing anymore?
Oh, God, that's what everybody knew American Express from the first place.
Yeah, it's
When
traveler's
I
checks. Yeah.
went to, for my first trip ever to Russia and Prague, we, credit card, check what? No, we purposed just in case. We bought like $100 worth of traveler's checks just in case. It's like, you're stuck, you have no money, get to the Western Union or get to the wherever, get to the embassy, you got a traveler's check.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I think we cashed one and got some money from it just because, and then the other is still in my drawer somewhere. I cash it out and get the $50.
It might still be, redeemable.
So let's do one more. Let's do one more item of criminality in Greeley for Greeley crimes in old times. A caller near Westridge Avenue, remember where that was, reported a man, actually there's a Westridge Avenue here, reported a man carrying around a stick who was acting like he was going to throw it at a vehicle. Why carry around the stick if you're not going to throw it at a vehicle?
I think he was related. He didn't win customer service employee of the month. He was the one who was in the parking lot was the third runner-up. He was the second.
He was the second runner-up.
Yeah.
And you know what he said to people?
What?
This is a stick-up.
Oh.
Get it? That's a little comedy right there. That's what I do here on Dave's Gone By. That, my friends, is Greeley Crimes and, whoa, where's my music thing? Here it is. And Old Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi, yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi. Yippee!
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, yippee indeed. You are listening to and watching the Dave's Gone By program live on this May 13th, 2023. Remember, if you want to see the older episodes, if you missed part of this episode, you want to see the wonderful interview with Judi Mark that Rabbi Saul Solomon did, all the archives are at davesgoneby.com. Dave, like my name, DAVESGONEBY.com. We have our very first episode, we have our 101st, our 601st, our 801st. We're climbing towards our 900th show in just a couple of weeks. So basically every program that we ever did, whether it was audio only or audio and video, it's there on the site, davesgoneby.com. We've also uploaded all our files, all our interviews, all our shows to archive.org. That is a not-for-profit website that gathers public domain and material that is cleared for art and culture and literature of the past centuries. All there for free. It's a not-for-profit thing. It's their goal. They're like a repository for American and world culture and literature. It's amazing. And we have a channel there, the Dave's Gone By channel. And as a matter of fact, over the recent few months, the quality of the videos that we're loading up there are higher than the quality I can even put on davesgoneby.com.
That's
So-
great. Yeah, it's good you have that outlet.
It's just fantastic. So check them out too. Or if you're just out and about and you don't have time to sit and watch for 3 hours of a program, but you want to listen to the show, maybe you're driving,
Or you want a certain section, right?
castbox.fm, which is audio only.
Where do you divide it by section?
How do you mean?
When you divide the show into different pieces?
Well, the only things I've been taking out are the interviews. So let's say you just want to hear the interview with Judi Mark
Yeah.
or Lee Wachner a week ago, the director and the playwright,
Yeah.
or
Well, he's doing classes, right? He's
yeah,
offering some kind of playwriting class.
exactly right, and or people, famous people like George Clinton or Judy Collins or folks like that, or Matthew Sweet, and you want to find those things. We've gone in. You can either listen to or watch the whole show, or we've gone in and just extracted those interviews in a separate place, both at archive.org and at davesgoneby.com. The audio of all our shows, not our interviews, but our shows are at castbox.fm, which is specifically if you want to download podcasts or MP3s. And you can find us on our YouTube channel, Dave's Gone By, and of course this Facebook page, Dave's Gone By. Remember also you can write to me, Dave's Gone By at AOL.com, or right here on our Facebook page. Check our Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2, and our Instagram, Dave's Gone By. So, we've had, I just mentioned Judi Mark was on the show today. She's a new friend of the Daverhood, and she will be appearing this Wednesday night at Don't Tell Mama in her show devoted to the songs of the great Broadway actress Gwen Verdon. It's called Merely Marvelous. Get your tickets at judymark.com. It's playing this Wednesday, and then next Wednesday, May 24th, at Don't Tell Mamas on West 46th Street. So we're thrilled that Judi is a new friend of the Daverhood. We're thrilled that Vicki Quade is now really a beloved old friend of the Daverhood. She's been on for a few years now.
That's
Vicki,
great. She's got 30 years of looking up her stuff.
isn't that fantastic? Judi and Mary Pat Donovan wrote and created and performed in a play 30 years ago called Late Night Catechism, which was essentially a nun recreating in a funny way what it was to go and sit through Catholic school for an hour or so. And she's now been doing it in Chicago, she did it in New York, she does it all over the world and recreates Late Night Catechism. It's the 30th month anniversary of the debut of that show in Chicago. Plus, they do Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun? And Bible Bingo and special things for the Christian holidays. So go to see in Chicago and elsewhere Vicki Quade doing Late Night Catechism and her other shows. She is also a returning friend of the Daverhood, as is Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches. Rabbi Sol was on our very first episode back in 2002. He does sermons for us. He also interviews most of the interviews that we do on this show. He's done other pieces. You can find it all at his website, shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com. Now, those are just the folks who have appeared on this program today. What about people who've been on the show in years past? Our other friends of the Daverhood. Well, first of all, some congratulations are in order. I want to send hearty congratulations to Alan Menken, the indefatigable Alan Menken. He's got a couple of things going on. We always say that if you go see Aladdin on Broadway, He wrote the music for that. He also wrote the music, of course, for Little Shop of Horrors, which is being revived off-Broadway as we speak. But Alan Menken, news came out today that he is working on a new musical about Nancy Drew.
Oh, wow.
And his collaborator is the one and only James Lapine, the guy who co-created Sunday in the Park with George, man. So,
Today, David, it's 60s and 50s.
oh, yeah, and it's also been rainy. I don't know if it's still raining out.
It's raining, yeah.
So congratulations to Alan Menken. And also,
Ooh,
wish I didn't have to put it this way,
ooh.
but posthumous congratulations to Susan L. Schulman and Robert Patrick. Susan L. Schulman, press agent, and Robert Patrick, the playwright. Both of them passed like within the past year or two.
What was their award? They won an award?
The Off-Broadway Alliance is giving them posthumous membership in the Off-Broadway Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's nice.
So our two friends of the...
Recognition for their work. That's nice.
Yeah. So Susan Schulman also wrote a book called Backstage Pass about her years representing shows by David Merrick and other people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like the behind the scenes kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Robert Patrick, of course, wrote a play or two for Broadway. He also Kennedy's Children and wrote a lot of gay plays, and he was just a delightful guest on Dave's Gone By a few years ago. So we said goodbye to them over the past few months, but now congratulating them on being posthumously inducted into the Off-Broadway Hall of Fame. Now, very much alive and well, Stephen Bringberg is doing his show Simply Barbara at Chelsea Table and Stage this May 14th, which is tomorrow.
Is he singing and singing and playing piano, or just?
Oh, well, I think he just sings and recreates. He looks like
He does like dresses like
Barbara Streisand, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
People love her. There's like such a cult of like
I know.
Streisand.
yeah. Well, she along with Judy Garland and a couple of other divas are like
Patti LuPone.
gay icons. Yeah.
Cheetah Rivera.
And now Gwen Verdon. So there you go. Who else? Karen Ziemba, love her. She is one more weekend, today and tomorrow, appearing in Murder on the Orient Express,
Oh, my fave.
adapted by Ken Ludwig, who's also our playwright
I
friend
wish
in
somebody
Limerick.
would update it. You know, make like a modern version of like people on like going on an Amtrak or going on a.
Would you really want to see Murder on Amtrak?
No, but it could still have the same twist. It could be like the same.
Murder on the 518 to Ronkonkoma
No,
on
but
the
I think it could
LIRR.
have the same.
Oh yeah, no, it's a great
I think
idea.
There could be like an update, or maybe like a train, or like a cruise, something where people are like.
People still
Use the
Murder on a
yeah,
cruise
so they
ship.
could
Yeah.
do Murder on the Orient Express, but make it more, you know, like current and
Yeah. Or they can do a Jewish one, which would be Murder on the Orienta Express.
that's funny.
Joyce is like, she's not even laughing. She's like, hey, that's funny.
It's not even funny.
Yeah, thank you very much. Anyway, Karen Ziemba, go see her. In
You
Ken
need
Ludwig's-
somebody who hasn't heard your stuff.
I know.
It's not me.
Thank you, darling.
I've heard it all before.
David Yazbek on May 16th, so I believe that is Tuesday night, is
That
going.
is Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Remember, Yazbek is a composer, writer of Broadway shows, but he also has a band that he does more pop and rock with, and they will be appearing with him at 54 Below.
How was the Carmen Sandiego guy? He's always doing stuff.
Oh, he's not doing stuff, I think, in New York right now, so
okay.
he's always touring.
Yeah, he did on the
He also does, I think, a Simon and Garfunkel show that he's been, or no, sorry, Everly Brothers. Excuse me, Everly Brothers show. Yeah. Mario Frati. Remember, we said goodbye to him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
He died. But the Mario Frati Award
Whoa.
is going to be given at the In Scena Italian Theater Festival. They do this every year,
Nice.
held by the Italian Cultural
He was
Institute.
such a nice man.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah, Mario was very cool. And he set aside, I guess, this legacy, this money, that every year
Endowment, yeah.
Italian playwrights, yeah. And I hear he was pretty well endowed, so there you go.
Well,
Graham-
That's really nice to you know to have your art live on by helping others. That's lovely.
Mhm.
It's
Hmm.
lovely.
He was doing this when he was still alive, by the way. It's been going on for
wow.
years.
Okay.
He set aside, because he made all that money from the Broadway musical Nine.
Yeah.
He lived on, he had all these shows done everywhere, but he lived on Nine.
Lovely. What a nice man.
Oh yeah, he was great. And Graham Parker, rock musician Graham Parker, he's going to be at My Father's Place Friday night at Glen Cove. I didn't know My Father's Place, honestly, was still around.
Oh wow.
It used to be in Roslyn. They used to advertise it all the time on
What is
FM
it,
radio.
Like a theater, like a cabaret.
It's a rock music
Well, like
club,
a venue, yeah.
Yeah. like the Bottom Line sort of
Oh
equivalent.
yeah.
And it closed up, I guess, in Roslyn, but it's back. It's in Glen Cove. And you can see Graham Parker there this Friday night, the 19th. Playing now through June 4th. The guy who's living or whatever is I don't think they're married, but the boyfriend of one of my cousins, Shiaporn Therakolstit, is playing in Khan the Musical, the Star Wars based musical at the.
Khan was the villain. He was who was the guy from Fantasy
The Wrath
Island?
of. Oh no, that's.
He played Khan.
Yes.
Lorenzo Lamas.
Hispanic.
Lamas.
Fernando Lamas was the father.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was Khan in the yes. I'm like, wow.
So this is not the Wrath of Khan. This is Khan.
Yes.
Excellent. The musical.
Wow.
At Players Theater downtown in New York.
That should be interesting.
Yeah.
How they conceptualize that.
And he's married. He's not married. But he's with one of the Shubes.
Yeah.
He's Shube adjacent, which is kind of cool. Karen Finley, her show is extended at the Laurie Beachman Theater. It's called
Yay.
COVID Vortex Anxiety Opera Kitty Kaleidoscope Disco. And you can see it now through June 24th. J.O. Sanders is in a new play at the Roundabout Theater called Primary Trust. That is at the Laura Pels Theater off Broadway. Tova Feldshuh is in Funny Girl until that closes in early September at the August Wilson Theater. I want to let you know Dakin Matthews is playing Merlin in the new kind of revamp of Camelot.
Oh wow.
And that's playing at the Beaumont Theater, the Vivian Beaumont Theater on Broadway at Lincoln Center. Lilius White is in Hadestown. Seth Biesenhirsch, we're almost done. Seth Biesenhirsch's Seth's Talent Showcase happens at Don't Tell Mama Tuesday nights. Katie Sullivan is at the Algonquin on Tuesday evenings doing piano bar stuff. Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, they are at Birdland on Saturday evenings. Get your tickets for Birdland at birdlandjazz.com because also on Monday nights, Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks hold court at Birdland. And of course, Monday evenings too, or Monday nights later, Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. Reminding you also, check out StageBuddy.com, a website devoted to New York nightlife, founded by our friend Evan Seplow. Dr. Demento doing new Dr. Demento shows at drdemento.com. And a shout out to our friend David Sheward. Remember, you can read his theater reviews at theaterlife.com, culturaldaily.com, and his blog, The David Desk. And those, my friends, the friends of the Daverhood. Well, that was lovely, Ludwig. Now let's move on to something else, ladies and gentlemen. We do this every week too, whether you like it or not. It's the Colorado Limerick of the Damned. This is because Joyce and I lived in Colorado for a bunch of years, and I got it into my head to write a poem about all these different places
What's the town? I'll look it
in
up.
Colorado. It's South Fork.
South Fork.
South Fork, Colorado.
Wasn't that on Dallas? South Fork was the ranch.
Something like that, yeah.
That was the name of the ranch in Dallas, I thought.
Maybe they named it after, well, no, Texas would have been settled before
Oh, they
Colorado.
have a Tiny Timbers Coffee Bistro.
Ooh,
Tiny Timbers.
there you
So
go.
cute.
What else can you tell us about South Fork, Joyce?
It says it's the statutory of the Rio Grande, confluence of the South Fork and Rio Grande rivers. Population 2020 was 510.
510 people, okay.
Yeah, they have Tiny Timbers.
Do you remember Tiny Timbers? Here's this thing, Tiptoe Through the Tulipers.
Oh, you know why Tiny Timbers? Because it was a timber milling operation.
Makes sense.
Coaching post?
Oh, wow.
I don't know what that means.
For stagecoaches, they probably tie up the horses there.
It made headlines when the board announced that solicitations for donations was unlawful within town limits.
The whole story on that is a little worse than that.
Yeah.
What happened was in 2020, officials got mad that people at the farmers market were asking for donations to Black Lives Matter and the NAACP. So they banned soliciting for donations in the town. Yeah, I'm guessing it's kind of a white.
Things
Like
to do,
neighborhood.
let's see.
Yeah.
There's a Peacock Meadows Riverside RV Park,
Mhm.
and there's a National Grand Forest, places to stay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nice cabins, Quality Inn, Ute Bluff. There's Wolf Creek Lodge, a lot of lodges, a lot of skiing, David,
Yeah.
RV parks.
Hunting, fishing, golf,
Yeah, a lot of skiing.
that kind of stuff. It's a beautiful area. As a matter of fact, as funny as it sounds, South Fork was one of Chevy Chase's destinations when he was taking his family on National Lampoon's Vacation. Honest to gosh. Let's go to South Fork, Colorado.
The closest airport is Alamosa.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Mostly skiing. Yeah, skiing. Yeah, skiing.
All right.
Not bad.
No, not bad at all. So this
You
is
like skiing, that's your place, right?
South Fork, Colorado. I've written a poem about it.
I don't have my
You're the poetry man.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for today, where we go to South Fork, Colorado, which, by the way, also has an annual Little Britches Rodeo
Aww.
and Salmon Fly Hatch Days. However, once you hear this poem, you're not may not want to go to South Fork. Here we go. Yeah. Are you ready? Are you all ready? You're never ready. Colorado Limerick of the Dam, South Fork, Colorado. A dexterous girl from South Fork got sick after eating bad pork. Since there was no quitting once she started shitting, she plugged up her ass with a cork. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Oh. Roland loves this one. So does New Pooey. They do love it. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Colorado Limerick of the Dam. Please send your comments and complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com. Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Or you can post your messages to me right here on this Facebook page. Or if you're a friend on Facebook, you can certainly message me that way as well. But either way, I love to hear from you. I read everything that I possibly can. I don't necessarily have a chance to respond or give a thumbs up thing. But thank you for your commentary, your suggestions, for telling other people about the show. Thank you also for checking out my other website, davelefkowitz.org, davelefkowitz.org. That is where you can read my plays, my song lyrics, my interviews, my news items that I used to write for places like StageBuddy.com and Theater News Online and Playbill and other places like that. It's just this compository of all the writings that I've done since I was a kid, as best I can, as much as I have the time to put up there. Check it out. It's davelefkowitz.org. So, if you get tired of looking at our old shows at davesgoneby.com, you can certainly look at davelefkowitz.org also. So, we want to thank again Judi Mark. We want to thank again Vicki Quade and Rabbi Saul. Joyce, anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to bring up? Or no? You got nothing today. Let's see. Actually, we talked about all that, so we're pretty good today. So, remains for me to thank you all for tuning in to Dave's Gone By on this Saturday, May 13th. We're expecting to be back next Saturday, the 20th, again from 9 to noon or thereabouts, here in the Daverhood. I want to give a shout out to my in-laws, to Joyce's mom for Mother's Day, to my mom for Mother's Day as well, and to all the moms and mothers out there, whether mother is just one word or a composite of the compound, or first, I blew the joke. Anyway, happy Mother's Day to all of you. Make it a great week, and I hope to see you 7 days from now in the Daverhood and Gone By.
Days gone by, days gone by.